Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dungeon Delving. That's right, we haven't done this in a while. What is Dungeon Delving? Well, it's where we come through and we talk with either ourselves or a couple of friends about things going on in the MTG, TCG, and TTRPG spaces. A little bit of everything going on. There will probably be one soon with myself, Jasper, and Sean, where we'll be talking about the 2024 version of D&D. 10 years is a bit of a time to wait, and we'll even talk about how that may affect MTD in the future. But I've got two special guests with me today to talk about something that we don't normally get to talk about, because as you can see, we're ranking things. I'm joined by my co-hosts from the normal MTD sessions. It's Ryan.
Hello.
And we are joined by a very special guest, a good friend of the channel, was Zeke Geek during Ravnica, The False Guild Pact Rises. It's the Geek.
Hi, everybody.
Geek, go ahead and shout yourself out.
My name is Geek Beardley. Find me everywhere, Geek Beardley. I do a lot of plane theme decks on the Planar Project on Moxfield. That's it.
Alrighty, so what are we doing today, folks? Well, there is a very special event coming up soon called Commander Sealed. So what is Commander Sealed? It is a event that is benefiting two different charities, the Trevor Project and Trans Lifeline, both wonderful charities to be going for. But there is a main event that goes on at these things. And so when you purchase a main event ticket, you will sit down with 14 booster packs. You will crack them and build a 100 card commander deck in a pod of 4 individuals that you will not face in that immediate second, where you try to build a normal commander deck, singleton format, so 1 copy of each card besides basic lands, and play well for charity. So you're doing it for something bigger, and that's truly the magic. What a lame intro. I'm so sorry, everyone. But today we're going to be doing, this is going to have to be a 2-part video. We realized this a little bit before starting the film, that there are so many legendary creatures in Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, that we probably could do our own part on just them. However, what we've done so far is Ryan has painstakingly collected a bunch of the pictures of different commanders from the guaranteed packs we're going to get. So there are 9 packs you're guaranteed to get, which are 1 Modern Horizons 3, 2 Ravnica Remastered, 2 Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, 2 Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth, and 2 Bloomburrow. So that's very exciting. And since the other 5 packs are kind of random and people can get different things, for example, last year, I know that it wasn't on the list, but I actually ended up with a Streets of New Capenna pack. So that was a fun thing for me. I didn't pull anything from it, but still. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't Streets of New Capenna. It was a Coria pack, and I cracked a Ketria Triome, which was worthless to me. Whoever thought a Triland would be worthless? That's the beauty of Commander Sealed. So we're just going to go ahead and handle these in order. I have the first commander pulled up, so if Geek wants to pull up the second and Ryan wants to pull up the third, we can start working on explaining these. So our rankings, as we have them here, we were going to write out something a little bit more, well, silly, because it's me. But we have DCBAS, and basically what these are going to represent is that the rank of D is an unplayable commander. Their strategies way too out there, or realistically, a lot of monocolored commanders are going to end up down here. It's not because they themselves are not strong. Building a monocolored deck where you don't have control over all of the cards you can get is very difficult. I've seen it done last year when I was there. Alan from Mental Misplay, shout out to Mental Misplay, built a mono red Krenko mob boss deck. And so it can work. He did say that he did bring up what I just echoed, which is it is a difficult thing to do, building in a monocolor, because you have to trade to get the cards you want to really make the deck run. So when we say a commander is unplayable, it is not crapping on that commander at all. We are sure the commander will be completely playable during that. The other thing that we're going to talk about is when we talk about a commander with choose a background from Battle at Baldur's Gate, we will talk about what would actually be good for them as a background. But yeah, so D is like unplayable. C is a can't blame you. I.e., these will be commanders that fall in where you just take them for their colors. Like they're good commanders normally, but you won't have the deck built around them. B is the if you're caught between two, you might want to lean this way. A is absolutely playable. That would be like the those are the ones you definitely want to see. Most of the commanders from Commander Legends 1 would be in that section because they're all very strong. S. S is the if you pull this, you should play it. You're silly if you don't. However, realistically, every commander in this video and the next video will fall under the can't blame you scale for whatever reason. Last year, somebody built Morophon dragons.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I can't blame that person at all. Talked with him afterwards, and he did bring up that he did regret it. He said that he actually pulled himself too far. And so that actually, so
Morophon, Morophon is, I can understand his train of thought in the beginning, but even then, Wooburg, it just stretches you way too thin.
So yeah, 5 color commanders are not going to be automatic S's. Generally, the more colors you have, the better. I think that it's around the 2 to 3 color range where your commanders start to look real primo. Mm-hmm. We have 2 4-color commanders we're going to talk about. One in this video, one in the next, because I don't believe we have any Lord of the Rings characters in this one.
No, unfortunately.
There's just so many. There are 83 legitimate legendary creatures in Lord of the Rings. There's a lot to talk about with that set alone.
Battle for Baldur's Gate and Lord of the Rings tested my sanity in getting these pictures. I'm like, good Lord! Like we could, if we had wanted to do an actual true part 1, part 2 video, like we could have done literally Bloomburrow, Rav Remastered, and MH3 for this video, and then we could have easily done Baldur's Gate and Lord of the Rings for the second.
Yeah, and I think even the Lord of the Rings and Baldur's Gate episode would be like twice as long.
Maybe. So I will say to that, I feel like some of the commanders, I think we're all, because we have talked about this on the side numerous times.
Yeah.
Since we were keeping up on Bloomberg and everything. Some we're gonna just say there's no debate about it. It's just either it's unplayable or it's top tier, middle tier, whatever. There's really no debate. But others, you can have there's room for it and everything. So
yeah, I can completely agree with that statement. I will say, Geek, thinking about the commanders that we have here, who are you excited most to talk about? And actually, Ryan, if you could scroll down to show them the absolute monster of a list we have to go through just today. God, it's so daunting just looking at it.
There's a lot of really good ones that I like.
Yeah, there's
Jan Jensen's really cool.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anything with Karlak is awesome.
Right.
Balin the Token Maker, or the Haymaker from Bloomburrow. Lots of colors and relevant strategy. And because I want to spit in the face of everybody who says monocolored, no, Ashling, of course, because Ashling.
Actually,
I'd force it.
Well, I have opinions on Ashling, unfortunately, so we'll get there. So we're gonna start off, and basically we're gonna go like this. When I'm done reading my commander, I'll look up the fourth one on the list, and we'll kind of trade there. If you don't know your character's name, don't be afraid to ask, because there's so many friggin' things, because I cannot spell. I know who's after Amber Gristle Mall. I know how to say her name. I don't know how to spell it to save my life. Well, the last name at least. Which thankfully oh shit, she's mine. I just counted it. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start with Abdel Adrian Gorian's Ward. He's 4 and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature human warrior. I'm not gonna read the legendary creature part. Human warrior. When he enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you control. Until Abdel Adrian leaves the battlefield, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. He's interesting. I think the big thing for me, so he also has choose a background. I think realistically, the background I'd want to suit him up with, um, is, ugh,
Dungeon Delver for you, Ruffy.
yeah,
Dungeon Delver
yeah.
makes sense.
I would say it's probably Agent of the Iron Throne would be a good one for him. That one is 2 and a black, so it would put him in an Orzhov color identity. And it says whenever an artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, exile. Each opponent loses 1 life. Um, he can make a crap ton of tokens, and he does care when he dies because he'll bring back the stuff you exiled.
Mhm.
I could also see him being as part of the Cultists of the Absolute, because that says at the beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. So you could play him, exile of your stuff, give yourself a bunch of 1/1 warriors, 1/1 soldiers, sack one of them to let him swing because it'll be a 7/7 with flying and death touch. And then on the next go around, sack him to bring back all your stuff. There's a lot of synergies that he could have. I know that he was a CEDH commander at one point.
I believe he still actually is.
I think so. I don't know. The
No, he's
CEDH
not
community, unfortunately, is kind of foreign to me. I'm not crapping on it. That's just that. I'm just telling the truth.
We just don't play it.
Geek, what about you for Abdel?
I like the Candle Deep Sage. Draws cards, get you in blue.
Okay.
When he enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. It's the most common one I've actually seen him paired up with anyway. Other than Far Traveler, which would make it a mono white deck, which we won't want to do during sealed.
Yeah.
And Ryan, what about you on the background?
Honestly, personally, I am very fond of the Raised by Giants, like with giving like the Selesnya type treatment, because there's absolutely ways in Selesnya you can give him trample and everything, which would just make it disgusting.
I actually just thought about it. I actually think Master Chef's a better background for him.
Master Chef wouldn't be Master Chef would definitely,
because he'll come in with a +++ counter, making him a 5/5, but all the 1/1s he make will actually come in as 2/2s, and I think that it's incredibly relevant. I think Abdel goes into C. There's a lot of playability, but like for example, if you get like Street Urchin or Sword Coast Sailor, you're not gonna have a great time building him.
He really is dependent on the background. I was leaning low B, high C, maybe.
I would definitely put him in C, because I think there's just because if you don't get the ones that we mentioned, that he just
he can be a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, a little lackluster. I also think his mana cost is really
C
high.
with non-optimal background, B with a good one.
Yeah, I think so.
So we want to say high C.
High C, low B, because like it really is dependent on the background you get, or if you get lucky enough to trade someone for it.
Also true. For trading, there will be 3 other people with you.
Yes.
Whether they trade with you or not is up to them, because some people can be stingy.
And if they pull a money card, they know that you can pull a money card, they may try to extort you a little bit, but talk with the table.
Alrighty. I believe we now have Geek with Ajani.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Ajani Nakadal Pariah, 1 in white for Cat Warrior. When he enters the battlefield, create a 2/1 white cat. Whenever one or more cats you control die, you may exile him and return him transformed. He becomes a Boros Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. +2, put a 1 counter on each cat you control. 0, create a 2/1 white cat warrior. And then if you control a red permanent other than Ajani, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to any target. His ultimate is -4. Each opponent chooses an artifact, a creature, and an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control, and sacrifices the rest. So classic Boros planeswalker of token thing, destroy things.
I'm
gonna
go ahead, Geek. No, you first.
I'm putting him high B, low A.
Okay. Ryan and I did do a little bit of research about Ajani, and so I do want to bring up a stat. Bloomborough brought 3 cats into Ajani's color identity. And Ryan, I believe if we're correct, the number before Bloomborough, before the 2 extra cats revealed in Bloomborough,
Mhm.
was 11 that a Johnny could run.
Yes.
So
Yep.
he's a grand total of 13 cats he could use. The problem for me is I just think he's a little too limited. I think his big selling
Not
points is super low mana value for 2 bodies that equal 3/3.
Mhm.
It's solid. It can work. I was thinking C. I think C above Abdel, only because if the token dies, then a Johnny flips. And honestly, just being able to 0 to always make a token and possibly dome something is not a bad strategy.
Oh, definitely not.
But if people
Uh,
get the chance, they'll remove a Johnny before they remove anything
Yeah.
else.
Exactly. And one of the other drawbacks with Johnny with the cats that are available to him when I did do when we did do research and everything, a bunch of them were mythic and rare from the same set. So the chances of you pulling both of them in the same pack is slim.
So
Can you get lucky? Sure.
there's only 2 cats in a Johnny's set, which is MH3. And that is Ocelot Pride, which is also a mythic like a Johnny is, and Thieving Skycat, which is a common. So getting a Johnny and the Thieving Skycat, not an impossibility, but getting
Definitely
a Johnny and
possibility.
the Ocelot Pride, really improbable. And unfortunately,
Yes.
Ocelot Pride's a really good card, so getting anybody to trade it to you is going to be kind of tough.
Yeah.
Impossible?
I don't
No. I definitely think he's stronger than Abdel. I think Abdel's got a high ceiling. But
the
honestly, a
floor
Johnny
is-
flipping over and just being able to always make a blocker and possibly dome something, I think is worth it. So,
Yeah.
like,
I can agree with that.
you know what, Geek, where do you want him?
At least solid B.
I'll
I think
relent
if you
to
can get
I'll
enough cats, you can get him into A, but he's definitely a solid B by himself. Cannot blame you. He's playable because he makes the relevant bodies.
Right.
okay. I'll relent to B. I'll relent to B.
Okay. I have no complaints on that.
Right. That is a Bloomberg character. I cannot remember their name.
I already had the card up. It's all good. I kind of learned the names when I had to keep taking images and saving them and putting their names and everything. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so first Bloomberg creature is Alenia, Divergent Storm. It's a 3 blue and a red for a legendary creature, Otter Wizard, and 3/5 toughness power. And Alenia's ability is whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant spell, the first sorcery spell, or the first otter spell other than Alenia you cast this turn, you may have target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Okay.
So it's typical red blue copy like copy spells and everything. He cares about instant sorceries.
I cannot see this above C though.
Same. I can already say I've read this ability
above
numerous times.
Abdel, sure. Copying instant and sorceries is very powerful. There are a decent number of instant and sorcery spells that make tokens. Oh, excuse me.
I do agree with that.
That make tokens.
The problem is that to get it to activate, you got to give your opponents let your opponent draw a card,
and that can spell your downfall.
Yep.
Though 3/5 is an incredibly relevant body.
Oh, absolutely.
Geek.
I think it is restrictive, but you're going to get enough instants and sorceries for this to trigger. And
Yeah, you're not going to get.
You can use the draw card for politics in a multiplayer game.
That is
true.
Very
true. Very true.
I would say high C, low B.
Yeah,
I would say
above. Can't necessarily blame you.
Yeah, I would say I say above Abdel.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Like her abilities are not bad, at all. It's just that because we only get 2 packs of Bloomborough, and there's not really many other otter wizard not wizard, sorry, but otter creature types in other sets, with the exception of Ikoria, which has Lutri, but surprise, he's banned. Well, Commander Shield doesn't go by the ban list, if I remember correctly.
That's correct. But Ikoria was not on the random packs that we could get, so unfortunately, there's not even a guarantee that Lutri would show up at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that it's fine there. Copying spells is very powerful, especially if you get late enough into the game.
And it can definitely be very. I'm sorry, I was going to say it's definitely going to be very politicky. I think in the late game though, when it gets to 1v1, that's when he's going to get dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. We are now on to Alundo the Seer. 2 green and a blue for a 3/5 legendary creature human shaman. Tap. Draw a card, then exile a card from your hand and put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. Just real quick, I'm going to shorthand this. It gains suspend. Long story short, he taps to draw, exile a card from the hand, put time counters on it. It gains suspend. Because like what it says, when the last time counter is removed, if it's exiled, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. The big thing that's important, it says, then remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile. So Alalundo wants to keep going. In green and blue, the idea of giving like cheating into play big creatures, because cheating into play is great. The only reason this isn't suspend is they don't gain suspend. So there's no way to remove the time counters besides Alundo's ability.
Yeah, that's...
So
that,
I think he would fall into low C, but he might be our first D commander. I think he's just a little too restrictive. 4 mana for a 3/5 body is pretty relevant, but you are most likely not attacking and blocking with this guy. Though you can activate his ability at instant speed, so blocking actually could be a possibility. I just think he's very risky because if he dies, then those cards that are in exile are just sitting there.
Yep, and then if you do like exile a big creature that can like turn the tide for you and everything, you lose a Lunda, and it's like, well, that's just gone. It's gone forever.
Yeah, it's gone until I could do something about it.
Yep.
Or until Lunda comes back.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
I do agree.
I'd say high D because he does give you 2 colors. You're in Simic. Simic is a very strong color combination. Let's be real. But if we're gonna put him any higher, I would say low C, because it's not like, I mean, you could pull from like Outlaws of Thunder Junction. You could pull Lava Spur Boots, which are a colorless way to give him haste and protect him.
Yeah.
So like,
very true.
No, it's not impossible.
I would agree.
Low C. So I think he goes
low
below
C to high D, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We can obviously move stuff around later.
I'm comfortable with him in being C only because he has 2 colors.
Yeah, if he was monocolor, he'd be in D. There'd be no argument.
Okie dokie.
I've got the next one. We got Allura, Merry Thief. 2 and a blue for a 3/2 halfling rogue with choose a background. Whenever you attack, up to 1 target attacking creature cannot be blocked this turn. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Background that I think would be really interesting with this one. I really like Guild Artisan because you're gonna get treasures to help cast her again if you use her.
Sure.
Basically that one is really nice for me, I think. My favorite one. Also Raised by Giants is really nice. Make her a 10/10. She can't be blocked.
Yeah. I think maybe Veteran Soldier's pretty good for her. Because you could swing her, make her unblock. So Veteran Soldier's 1 and a white for 1 and a white. Commander creatures you own have, when this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. So you can swing her at the person who has the most life. I accidentally clicked on the thing. They got our faces real big for a hot second. You're welcome. You're welcome, audience. So like she can make herself unblockable, swing at the person who has the most life, not feel bad about it because she'll bounce herself. So like, what do you have to feel bad about? But then you'll also get a 1/1 swinging at everybody. And that can eventually accumulate value. Also, it being at 2
already.
I'm about to say, it being at 2 means it can come down, then she can come down, and then on the next turn she's swinging and doing that already. So like by turn 4, that can already start going. So I definitely could see her with like Veteran Soldier as a background being pretty annoying. Right?
Give me a second. I'm actually looking through the in backgrounds because I don't know.
The other thing would be like,
many.
and I know I already mentioned it, but Master Chef.
Master Chef is just a
because-
solid. It's just a solid background.
because she'll
honestly.
bounce or whatever she bounces could come back down with a counter if you played it earlier in the game.
Mhm.
So like, and again, putting her in green blue is pretty relevant, especially because there are some giant creatures that don't have any kind of evasion to get into combat, and her just being like the 7/7's unblockable now. Go get him. Is these incredibly relevant stance. I actually think that she's actually. I would put her above the Otter.
I'd put her in B solid.
I think she's below a Johnny. I think a Johnny's ceiling's much higher than hers. I think she's a much steadier gameplay than he is.
I think she has enough backgrounds to make her pretty good.
Yeah,
Be a solid B.
definitely.
Okay.
I agree. Solid B.
So above a Johnny
So-
or below him is the question.
Around the same to me, honestly.
All right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then we can
Depending
just
on the background, definitely very
yeah.
similar.
So
Yeah.
since they're around the same, no need to move them around or anything.
This brings us to Ryan, your commander.
Oh goodness, I forgot about this. I have thankfully I looked it up. So the next commander, another Battle for Baldur's Gate commander. It's Amber Gristle O'Maul. 3 and a red for a legendary creature dwarf cleric, 3/3 with haste. Whenever Amber Gristle O'Maul attacks, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each player being attacked, and has choose a background. Honestly, even I will say this. It's gonna, for me already, like even without using looking background wise, I do feel this is like restricted because like if you have like a 6 card a 6 card hand and everything when she attacks it, now mind you, it is a May, you don't have to. But like obviously if you're like 3 card, like you have 2 cards in hand and you're attacking all 3 of your opponents, yeah, discard 2 cards, draw 3. Not a bad choice.
I can understand that.
I feel like she's a go wide strategy in that sense. So
I actually have her sitting in.
I'm thinking she's kind of low C, maybe high D.
I can agree with that. I think the best background in my opinion, it's either Cloakwood Hermit or Sword Coast Sailor, putting her in either Gruul or Is It. Sword Coast Sailor is commander creatures you own have when this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, that creature can't be blocked this turn, meaning you can feel free to swing her to be able to use her ability. Cloakwood Hermit is 2 and a green, and commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step, if a creature card was put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, create 2 tapped 1/1 green scroll creature tokens, which actually benefits off of her ability because if you discard a creature card this way to draw new ones, you'll get 2 squirrels at the end.
Yeah, they're tapped, but still, like you discard a creature to get 2. Like
I can agree with you though that I think she stays in green. She has capability.
She does,
but I do think she's a little too restrictive. Geek.
I think she works with a lot of backgrounds. The Cloakwood Hermit Criminal Pass gives her menace, and if you're throwing creatures in the graveyard, she gets bigger because that one gives them plus X plus O, and that's how many creatures are in the graveyard.
Yeah, I forgot about Criminal Pass.
Raised by Giants, of course, is always good. She's a hasty person, so 10/10 hasty, pretty good. Scion of Halaster. If you're going to draw some cards, you actually can like filter and go in the graveyard some more. And another tricky one, Shameless Charlatan. She has haste. You swing with her. There's a bigger creature somewhere on the board.
Make her a copy of that.
Oh yeah,
I think she has I think she has a lot more to her.
She's more versatile.
I think she has a lot of potential.
And with that many different backgrounds, I'm pretty sure you're going to find something that works.
Oh yeah.
The only thing is if she stays monocolor. If you get another red background, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
If you get any other color,
so
definitely high C to low B.
Yeah, I would say then I'm saying high C. I'm saying above, definitely above Alondo. Might be above Abdel, honestly.
I think above.
Alania.
You think above, above the Otter?
Because she's an aggressive commander in a format you want to be aggressive in.
There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say. All right.
Flexibility is really nice.
I'm willing to relent to that.
I can agree. After giving a little more thought and like see, I forgot about like again, apologies like with some of my judgments. It's like there's so many cards to keep track
There's
of.
so many cards to look at.
That brings us to Arna Kennerud, Sky Captain, 2 white, blue, black for a 4/4 human knight with flying, lifelink, ward, discard a card, and whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Then, for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to that creature. So I'm going to say this right now. You're not going to have a lot of equipment or auras in this set, in this game. So the second half of her ability, I just don't view. However, it can trigger. So I'm not saying it's worthless. It's that first one that I really have to look at. And honestly, she's a 5-mana 4/4 with flying, lifelink, and a very hard to get through ward cost to justify. I absolutely think she's playable. I think she's above a Johnny.
Period.
Yeah, she's definitely B.
She's in B. She's definitely above a Laura. I think in my current estimations, she's above a Johnny as well.
Yeah.
3
definitely.
colors. She can be aggressive. She can keep you in the game. There's one thing to be known about Commander Sealed. You only start at 30 life. So life is less of a resource in this. Still a resource. Still use it. However,
and then if you get some equipment aura somehow,
if you do somehow,
you're up in A.
MH3 that she's in has a white black one that gives flying +2/+2.
Or if you get cards that give counters to things.
Yeah. Which is
very possible.
And that happens a lot in white, blue, and black. So like,
absolutely.
I think she's got a really high ceiling. I mean, worst thing for your deck is she's a 4/4 flyer.
Yeah.
Like that's still good.
Honestly,
I say B above a Johnny.
Here. Yep.
Yeah.
Give me a second to be stopped again.
Yep.
That's all right.
I agree, and I agree with Geek. Right now, definitely high B. If you would get lucky enough in the random packs that you get, aside from the guaranteed ones, and you do get some auras and everything or equipment, she goes into A. Or counters, yeah. She goes into A.
I mean, we might get some Wilds of Eldraine, and you can get some of the rolls.
Exactly, yeah. Like,
Yep.
There's definitely...
There's some possibilities.
She does say the word non-token permanents attached.
True, but still something.
Yeah. Still, she has versatility. Like,
she does have versatility, yes. Geek's so excited about this.
I get Ashling.
Yeah.
Ashling Flame Dancer. 2 red for a 4/4 elemental shaman. You do not lose unspent red as steps and phases end. So she's the red version of Omnath. And she has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you discard a card, then draw a card. If it's the second time you've done this, she deals 2 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. And if it's the third time, you get more mana. 4 red, in fact. I don't care what anyone says. She's an A.
I have to argue with you on that one.
Nope.
Because her strategy is specifically instants and sorceries. And she's
I already told you I was going to be completely unbiased.
I know. The only thing I'm willing to do is she can be a disgusting burn deck commander if you could get the red spells to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
So I personally do feel, being 100% honest, that I think she's in D. I am willing to relent low C below Alalundo.
I'm willing to go B. I can't blame anyone for playing her.
I could, because I'm just going to sit there and the entire time go, you could have spent so much more time doing better things.
All right, fine. C.
Someone, I'll say, like devil's advocate here. As a monocolor commander in Sealed, yeah, she's probably not going to be. She's going to be lackluster. Let's be honest. In the 99, she's a freaking.
Oh yeah, You pull her and you can put her in the 99. Abso-friggin-lutely put her in the 99.
Yeah.
She's a C. She's. You know what? Geek, I'll relent with you. I will put her above Alundo.
Good. You should.
Only because
I will not argue.
Alundo needs to be out for his deck to run. Where if you're playing a burn deck with Ashling, you can still win.
Oh yeah, burn is still.
She's also a
100%
4/4
viable.
for 4 mana, which is a good cost and a good body.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Right.
Bring on the buy
All
panic.
Yeah, but it's like I get to talk about everyone's favorite vampire.
Gustarian.
Lestat?
Right.
People love Astarion. So next commander up is Astarion, the Decadent. 4 white and a black, so 6 mana for a 4/4. Not crazy, like not. The kicker is he comes with Death Touch and Lifelink.
Okay.
And then at the beginning of your end step, you choose one. Feed, target opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they've lost this turn. Or friends, you gain life equal to the amount of life you gain this turn.
Let's not beat around the bush. Asterion today.
He might go S.
So here's my thing
Solid
that holds him. Here's my thing that holds him back from being an
100%,
S.
I agree with A.
It's his mana cost. 6
Fair.
mana in white black is really, really difficult. The problem is,
I can agree with that.
if he gets out on the battlefield and he can stick around for a little while, he's a
he's
super good blocker. He can gain you life, and he halves all your opponent's life totals because you only need to do half the damage to kill them. It's disgustingly solid.
I think it's agreement.
I say Astarion's our first A.
Scruffy really likes Orzhov.
Love Orzhov. I am gonna be that is where I'll be biased when we talk about.
I'm on
Teysa,
Ashling, you're on Astarion.
When we talk about Teysa later in this episode, watch me fight for that S. So yeah, I don't think any of us can argue with it.
Astarion is
good.
Absolutely an A tier. Like there's no if his mana was lower, he's S.
If you get enough mana rocks or acceleration in your pool.
Oh yeah,
Also, if your deck contains white and black, absolutely throw him in there. He's absolutely an easy way to end the game. Could you imagine Arna Conrude's deck with Astarion as a bomb?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. It's gross just to think about.
I mean, she also has lifelink too. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
And folks, I think we've hit the peak for something as we talk about Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, 2 red and a white for a 2/5 angel with flying, and Mentor. Mentor is whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature with lesser power. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample if it's red and gains vigilance if it's white. I don't think there's much to talk about here. I think Aurelia is our first S.
Yeah,
the incredibly relevant body. She buffs herself or another creature. Aggressive colors.
It's just so strong.
Aggressive.
Like worst comes to worst, right? She chooses herself, which turns her into a 4/5 with trample and vigilance and flying.
Mm-hmm.
If that's worst case scenario, I think you're okay.
I'll take it.
You're always getting the +2/+0. The red or white is the part that matters. She does care about colors. You want to take as many multicolored creatures you can in red and white. I think she's just worth it. She's just so strong. She's also very cheap. 4 mana for a 2/5 flyer is really good.
Now you got to think about it. 4 mana for a 4/5 flyer with vigilance and trample.
Yeah,
that's your baseline.
Yeah, that's your worst case scenario. Your best case is you have another creature out that she can make stronger.
Buff.
Yeah.
All right. I've got Baba Lazaga, Night Witch. 1 in Golgari for a 3/3 human warlock. Tap, sacrifice up to 3 permanents. If there are 3 or more card types among the sacrifice permanents, each opponent loses 3 life. You gain 3 life, and you draw 3 cards. I really like her, but she's in the higher C for me because you have to make sure you have 3 different permanent types every time you do this.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
So I put her around Alania. That would be my opinion.
I think she's above Alania, below Amber.
Yes, I
My
would go with
argument
that.
my argument to that is because having 3 permanent types triggers her further, she can just trigger off of being able to sack 3 things.
Also true. Yeah, I honestly,
Where
I
Alania
would,
is the first instant sorcery or otter spell you cast.
yeah, I agree. I can definitely agree. Above the otter, but below amber.
Yep.
All right.
Brian is reading my favorite color combination.
Yeah, we
So
got our
S.
Second of that color combination in this episode.
It is
Yes.
our first god.
I'm a god.
So next up is Bane, Lord of Darkness. 1 and Esper, so white, blue, black. For a legendary creature god, 5/2. As long as your life total is less than, sorry, let me repeat that. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, Bane, Lord of Darkness has indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you put a creature card with equal or lesser toughness from your hand onto the battlefield.
So, real big toss up. I think the fact that he can become indestructible makes him really solid. The fact that he can cheat creatures into play is also good. But, like, for example,
Or you also draw a card.
well, the problem is
If
it's
your opponent
dictated
lets you.
if your opponent lets you.
Yeah.
If they kill a 1 toughness creature, they're not going to let it happen. They'll just go, yeah, cheat in something that's toughness 0 from your hand.
Well, it's equal to
True.
or less than.
Okay.
So you can put
you can-
a 1 toughness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can
I
run the risk
think-
of replacing it, but
I think Bane is above Ashling and below Abdel. I wouldn't blame you because he is 3 color.
I would put him around Ajani. Purely
Really?
on colors. He's a relevant body.
His
and
color-
he's pure
the color
colors, kind of like
combination-
Arna, but he's not quite as good as her because she has flying and lifelink.
I'll take
But he's relevant in all aspects of the game as long as you've got the cards. So I think he's better than Ajani.
right.
we have and we have gone, like you said, like, the 3 of us have agreed on this. Like generally, like where you want to lean is a 2 color, 3 color combo. Esper is not a weak color combination by any means
No,
because
you got card draw, you've got removal.
Blue, yep, card draw, removal, like even exile at points, like in that, like stuff like that. And then you have anthems and white. Like he can work. Like it does suck that he doesn't get indestructible until your life total is basically until you're at half your life. So like with this situation, normally it'd be 20
15.
life, but for this it's 15. Yeah, that is a little bit of a drawback, but if you are able to get him to become indestructible, he can be a menace. I would agree. I think he's definitely he's middle of the pack. Like he's definitely B tier in that sense because of what he get. Like again, piggybacking off what Geek said, like just color wise, what he gives you in access to helps him out. If he was like say no, and this is not a stab at Orzhov or anything, but if he was Orzhov or like Orzhov, Demir, or maybe Azorius and not Esper, I would put him lower.
Okay, I'm willing to relent. I'm outnumbered there, so I'm willing to relent. I was gonna say that I just think that the fact of you can't control what toughnesses you're gonna have, and the anthems in sets available are very limited. But if the 2 of you
True.
feel B, I will relent to B. Also, it's
So,
another
are
Esper
we
commander
saying-
higher up on the list. So
Are we saying above
Right
Johnny
there is
or
fine.
below
I'd
Right
say
here?
below
Okay.
Ajani.
Johnny? Okay,
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
let's go with that.
okay, this brings us on to our next Bloomborough commander, and definitely a talk of the town. Balin the Haymaker is red, green, white, so it's Naya. For a 4/3 legendary creature rabbit warrior, tap 2 untapped tokens you control, add 1 mana of any color. Tap 3 untapped tokens you control, draw a card. Tap 4 untapped tokens you control, put 3+/++ encounters on Balin the Haymaker. It gains trample until end of turn. I want to say
Balin-
high B above Arna.
I can.
Similar, or I think if could be low A under Astarion.
I would
There
accept
are a
low A
lot
under
of tokens.
Astarion.
There's a lot of tokens in these sets. You will
Yeah.
have tokens,
I think.
and
Yeah, I would
those
say
abilities
low
are
A.
just really good.
Also, should be
Yes.
clear for Balin, a point in his favor is it does not say creature token. So if you're making
and that could
clues,
be
if you're
Yeah.
making blood, if you're making
Rolls.
food.
rolls
His
from WoW, if you get a WoW pack.
Oh yeah, you get rolls.
yeah,
All the
if you're lucky,
treasure
you
we get.
WoW,
There's
oh,
so
yeah.
much treasure in the world
So
now.
yeah,
Clues,
I will
food.
accept. Yeah, I think if we look at like compare him to somebody like Asterion, I think Asterion's a stronger commander because you're in a color
Agreed.
that's got a lot of removal.
Mhm.
So I
But
I
Balin
would
definitely
accept under
the versatility is what helps it.
also 3 colors.
Yes. So,
So,
I agree.
He's a 3
I
mana
think we're all
4/3
agreeing.
that if you get enough, if you have 4 tokens, he's suddenly an 8/7
Yep.
with trample.
Oh yeah, if someone gets Balin and
Oh, yeah.
is able to get a lot of token generators and everything, that deck is going to be
oh, it's 3
menace.
plus the counter, so he'd be a 7/6, but still.
Sorry, 7.
Oh,
My
even,
I can
even
math.
worse.
I can math.
He'd be more.
Could you
of a
imagine if he
menace.
swings at you when he's a 10/7?
What?
You just
I'd rather
I'm
not.
sorry, 10/9, you just cry.
So we're gonna go from that. So the next one is
I think
Beza,
we
the
have-
Bounding Spring, 2 white for an elemental elk 4/5. When it enters, create a treasure if an opponent has more lands than you. Gain 4 life if an opponent has more life than you. Create 2 fish if an opponent has more creatures than you. Draw a card if an opponent has more cards in hand than you. I love him in the 99. If any deck that you have that's white.
I think we
Oh,
can
yeah.
all agree that we have our first D commander.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't
Almost want to say he's
but-
better than Alondo just because.
I think the problem is the fact that you're only in a single color
We're
actually
only in single colors, yeah.
restricts him immensely, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you
aside
pull
from
Balin in one pack and Beza in the other,
Oh yeah,
Uh,
100%.
we
Magical
should be
Christmas
clear
land.
about this. Beza goes in any deck,
Any deck
you
you
build that has white in its color identity. It's a good card.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a very good card.
100%.
so much value. For
Right.
It's just, but as a commander, you can't do that to yourself.
Right, go ahead
tell
and
me what to
let's
do.
talk about this mofo right here because I think
Love
we
this
have our
mofo.
second
Here we
D.
go.
Geek. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So next up is Borborygmos Enraged. 4 and double Gruul, so 2 red and 2 green. For a 7/6 legendary creature Cyclops with trample. Whenever Borborygmos Enraged deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Discard a land card, and Borborygmos deals 3 damage to any target.
So, here's why I think D. It is purely
First-
because
Mana
Mana
cost.
his mana cost is so goddamn high.
I gotta go C. Such a simple set strategy.
It's a very simple strategy.
If I'm putting him
His
C,
ma-
I want him above Ashling.
No, can't do that.
Then D.
Fine.
Yeah,
above Beza.
unfortunately.
I would say above
Above-
Alondo, but below Ashling.
I really do think the fact that Ashling is both monocolor and has a very specific strategy holds her back way too much. Because like the thing is, the 2 damage to each creature is great. What if you do not have a second instant in sorcery?
It's true.
Fair point.
I
is a
think
fair
that
point.
like
Okay, fine. We could put Borbo above Ashling, I guess.
Bo. Yeah,
Bo,
I would
Bo.
accept that. I think Abdel just has so much potential that Borborygmos can't
yeah.
be above him. Yeah, he is in 2 colors. He's in very aggressive. While the ramp spells are not plentiful in these sets, he is absolutely in a red-green color. There are sets that have just straight up ramp spells, so it's not impossible.
Mana Dorks.
Yep, also true. Mana dorks.
Bloomborough has a lot of Mana Dorks in green.
It really does though.
Yes, it does.
That brings us to our second god, Ball, Lord of Murder. Twitching game. He is 2 black, red, green for a 4/4 creature, legendary creature god. He has the same rules text as Bane in the sense of as long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, as indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and goad it. I think he's the highest of C. Um, because the
Unopinion
problem
D.
is the graveyard recursion is not nearly as good in Commander Sealed as it is normally. So
No,
any
it isn't.
non-token creature you control dying is going to impact you. And yes, while you can put these counters on your own stuff and goad it, the idea is going to be put it on your opponent's stuff to force it to swing in other places. And that gets tricky because, like, what if your opponent has Arner Kennerud? Then getting counters on their stuff just actively sets you back.
But they are
You're
hitting
not
your
wrong.
opponents at this point.
Yeah, but that, I mean, they're also gaining life, which is putting them further
True.
and further out of reach for you.
Yeah,
I
it's double-edged sword.
I think he's the highest of
personally-
C because he is in 3 colors. He is a 4/4
Mm.
for 5 mana. He can be indestructible, and him goading himself, for example, not a terrible thing.
I would say lowest of B's purely on colors. I agree with you everything else, but he has 3 colors. Puts him in at least very, very low B for me.
So we're thinking the lowest of B,
The lowest of B.
right?
Oh, you know where I want to put him just because of his one ability.
Because it says the word goad. You want to put him in the lowest of D. You want to throw him in the trash.
No, absolutely. I hate goad.
I would
No,
love
but-
it if the best commander Ryan pulls this ball.
That would just be comeuppance.
You would
No,
literally walk over to my table and go,
joking-
trade me.
joking aside, while I hate goad, I do 100%. I will maliciously take out an opponent who goads me.
How? He'll be goading you.
But
I can accept
say
lowest of
in
B. I can accept that. Especially if you get a couple of good death triggers, like while the reanimation is not great, it's there. Okay, here's where I'm gonna get some shit. Go ahead, geek.
All right.
Oh,
Got
what the hell?
Brea,
Oh,
Ethereum Shaper.
why was Paul having-
All colors but green for a human, just a human, artifact creature. 4/4 when she enters. She makes 2 blue 1/1 Thopters with flying. 2 mana, sack 2 artifacts. You can choose a want. She either deals 3 damage to target player or planeswalker. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, or you gain 5 life.
My apologies. Real quick, sorry. Some of these are out of order.
Oh,
Saying out of order.
Yeah, because
Oh,
Brewback
yeah.
was over here. Like, some of them are not in order. I'm gonna
Okay.
continue. I'm gonna just reorganize real quick.
Purely on colors and the fact she makes her own tokens to do the thing. Probably in the B tier.
Rye.
Brea for me is kind of that hits a note for me, unfortunately, because I actually am building it. I have a Brea deck built. I just gotta buy it for physical, and I really like what she can do. However, I would not run her if I pulled her Commander Shield personally. I don't doubt that she's a strong commander. Like, there is no argument there. Like, I've seen firsthand what she can do. I think with 4 colors is too much. You're getting close to that, like 5, you're getting to the situation where you're literally 1 color away from Wooburg, you're just stretching yourself out too far.
So I am 50-50 between the two of you, which is, I actually think 4 colors helps her in this favor, but I also think it hindrances her. So this is a point that in the next video I'll bring up with Aragorn the Uniter, because he is the other 4 color commander that we will talk about. He's just in Lord of the Rings, so we won't see him. I thought I got the infamous Cruel Claw. That's unfortunate.
Right? It's tier list
Geek
organizing
gets
it
him.
out of order.
Geek gets the Cruel Claw.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that when you look at a 4 color commander in a normal commander game, they're just very powerful. That's just what they're capable of doing. I think in this format where you are not guaranteed to get the ramp and or the color fixing you need, 4 colors, specifically having to be the 4 colors, is a hindrance. I say that she's high C above Amber. mainly I wouldn't blame you because of the colors that she is. She does give you access to everything but green. But her strategy of having to be artifacts for her to really activate her abilities does unfortunately also hold her back to me. So I think she's in C. I think she's the highest of C, or if any higher, I think she's the lowest of B. 4 colors is very strong. You don't have to dedicate yourself to artifacts. You could just play with your best cards in your 4 colors from amongst your table. So like that's going for it. And if you could find some flickering stuff, for example, there was a background. Is it Far Traveler? Exile up to 1 target tapped creature. Yeah. So like, for example, if you can get Far Traveler in your deck to flicker her so that she comes in and makes more Thopters, sure, why not? I don't think she's unplayable. So she's definitely not in D, but she's either the highest of C or the lowest of B. Which is really sad to say about somebody as strong as Brea.
Yeah. Honestly, again, the thing that holds her just holds her back in this type of situation is just because of the limitation of the packs we get. Like, if it wasn't for the limitations of the packs that we get, different story. 100% different story.
Honestly, we got packs of Brothers War.
Can agree with that. Okay.
Do we even need to talk about this?
Brewback, honestly, D.
D.
All you're going to do is piss your opponents off.
Yeah.
All the mill haters are loving us right now.
Yeah. Sorry. It's Brewback, like, in a 99. If you want to put him in 99, go for it.
I think he's like a 2/5.
He is a 1/4.
1/4. It's still a relevant blocker.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, not a bad thing.
You're also, your mill options in this limited format or limited event is not going to be abundant. So, me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's much more else to say about him. He's D because he's just way too restrictive.
Yeah. If he did more than just mill.
Honestly, if he had a way to mill on his card, I would put him above Bera.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay. That brings us to a Bobby Christine favorite. Kadira, Caller of the Small. 1 green and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature Orc Ranger. It's trample. And whenever Kadira, Caller of the Small deals combat damage to a player, for each token you control, create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. I say low B, probably above Ball. Above Ball and Allura, but below Bane.
I would put her between Ball and Allura. I think Allura has more options for 2 color.
I think the fact that Allura, you lose the creature that Allura makes unblockable is the thing that holds it back for me.
Sure. I can go with that.
Sorry, guys. I had a little
with all the extra rabbit stuff in Bloomborough, might.
Oh, yeah. If you could get like a patchwork banner from Bloomborough and get it in there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So above Allura, but under Bane. What about you, Ray?
Yeah, like for the colors in combination, like pretty solid. Like, I honestly couldn't blame you for picking that as a commander.
Yeah, honestly, play 1 pump trick, or again, play like something that can make her unblockable for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll just
so I say above. Yeah, I think this is good. All right, we should be good. I will say this just real quick. We should be good going forward for a few, like at least the next row. I guess I gotta organize it. I didn't realize it was out of order.
God damn it. Right. I have 2 Boros commanders in a row. Sorry, continue.
All right. So we got Camilla, the Seed Miser, who is a 1 in Golgari, which is black and green, for a 3/3 Squirrel Warlock with Menace. The squirrels you control have Menace. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more foods, make a squirrel. 2 in Forage, and Forage is a mechanic where you can either exile 3 cards out of your graveyard or sacrifice a food to put a 1/1 counter on each other squirrel you control. I really like her. She's really limited. I would put her possibly above Alondo, but around Alondo. She has 2 colors, but you really need to have squirrels and food.
Or food, at least. I could agree. I could agree with that.
It's a very fun commander, don't get me wrong, but again, same thing right now. It's held back because of the limitation. So I agree above Alondo. I think, and between Ashling and Londo, yeah, no disagreements. We might have to start moving some peeps down to D.
Well, it'll expand on itself.
No, I know.
Yeah.
All right, me next.
Yes.
Wrong
Who is
time.
this? I don't know who this is actually.
This is Clement, the Worrywart.
Oh.
Yep. So 1 green and a blue for a 3/3 legendary creature frog druid vigilance. Whenever Clement the Worrywart or another creature you control enters, return up to 1 target creature you control with lesser mana value to its owner's hand. Also has the ability. Clement also gives frogs the ability to tap, add a green or blue, spend this mana only to cast creature spells. It honestly runs into the same issue with, I think, with Camellia.
I actually like him above Borborygmos.
I do too, only because his second ability is relevant for almost anything. You can double up on ETBs and stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying he's. Yeah, I'm absolutely not saying he's like.
I think the fact that realistically you want to be playing frogs because of the ability.
You want to try and get as many. You want to try and get as many frogs as you can. Thankfully, with Bloomburrow, there is still a decent chunk.
Baseline, he is a mana dork.
Yes, that is true.
Oh yeah, baseline, he is a mana dork. Yeah,
so that puts him above Bobo.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can absolutely agree. Like between Abdul and Bobo, definitely 100%. Or Abdel, sorry.
Alrighty, that brings us to
this
is gonna be yeah, right. Well, hold on, and then after that, I'm mono white. Because from here, I should be Duke Gould or Ravengard.
You got another Boros. Duke Ravengard's Boros.
No, I know, but after Duke Ravengard, I'm mono white commander again.
Oh yes.
God, all right, just throw me under the bus, huh? Oh my God, wait a minute, am I Commander Lyra Portier, Duke Gould or Ravengard, Ellen, Areni? I'm 4 D&D characters in a row.
So fitting.
The hell? All right, so Commander Lyra Portier. She's 3 red and a white for a 5/3 human soldier. Whenever you attack, spells you cast from exile this turn cost X less to cast, where X is the number of players being attacked. Exile the top X cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those exiled cards. A.
Solid.
She's solid. She's a relevant body.
Solid.
Yeah, low A. I think she's beneath Balin, definitely.
Yeah.
But card advantage, discount on that card advantage, and she doesn't need to attack, which is very important.
Yes.
It's just when you attack. The only problem is you are going to be spreading yourself thin, swinging at everyone. That's your biggest thing. But also, swinging at a single person gets a discount on that spell by 1 and gets you an extra card per turn. I think it's completely solid. So, yeah, I think A.
All right. And comes to me, and I get the infamous Cruel Claw. 1 in Rakdos, which is black and red, for a 3/3 Weasel Mercenary with Menace. Whenever the infamous Cruel Claw deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. S.
Oh yeah, Cruel Claw.
You pull him, you play him.
This son of a gun is disgustingly good.
He is
3 mana for a 3/3 with Menace in non-green colors
Aurelia?
and card advantage. Blah.
I think below Aurelia, and my argument to that is
yes.
Menace, while is an evasion keyword, it's not impossible.
True.
And if your opponents have big enough creatures, you're just not going to be able to swing at that person.
Yeah.
Where Aurelia's got flying, she'll most likely get over the bigger threats.
Yeah. Okay. And that's why, when I thought about it, I'm like, because you could argue both ways, but
we cannot discount how amazingly powerful casting spells for effectively free is, though.
Oh, absolutely. See, Bill, here's the thing. You say you're getting the D&D characters. I got the dragon. Yeah. Even when we're doing a video, I can't escape the dragons.
At least I don't have
it works.
Yeah. So, all right. up next is Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. 3 red for a legendary creature, bird dragon. 5/5 like almost all dragons. Keyword almost.
Cockcraw.
Flying, whenever Dragonhawk enters or attacks, exile up the top X cards of your library where X is the number of creatures you control, power 4 or greater. You may play those cards until your next end step. At the beginning of your next end step, Dragonhawk will deal 2 damage to each opponent for each of those cards that are still exiled. This card is...
He's one of the breakers of the mold.
Yep. Yes. He is restricted by being a monocolored dragon, or just monocolored creature in general. I could not fault you for playing him.
Be above ball. If you can make it work, sure. The fact that it doesn't on enter is very strong, but the fact that it is power 4 or greater, like nothing else,
it does hinder it.
It does hinder it a little bit. If you can make
but
it
even
work,
then,
you should.
I would agree.
Because you're at least, if you have Dragonhawk on the field, you're at least guaranteed 1.
Right.
Which is not nothing. But you definitely want to, in mono red, it's tricky.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can say if you pull him and you want to play mono red dragon exile burn, go for it.
Realistically, Dragonhawk is the person you keep till the end and see if your opponents are not and see if your pod mates are not playing red in their color identity.
Yeah.
That's when you start looking and going oh, I might be able to get away with Dragonhawk here.
Yeah. Little side tangent real quick though. Back when Bloomberg spoilers were happening and the story was getting revealed, friggin' Millier messages me about Dragonhawk, and I'm in my head, I'm thinking don't be mono white, don't be mono white, don't be mono white. And the reason I say that is because I literally have when people see me start playing and who get to meet me for IRL for the first, they will learn that I am a kindred type player, meaning I have 36 decks on Moxfield. Almost 60% of them are kindred types. So when I have a mono white bird deck and I saw this, I'm like, if this is a mono white bird dragon, I swear to Christ. Mono red stuff.
That will bring us to Duke Ulda Ravengard. 4 red and a white for a 5/5 human noble soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and myriad until end of turn. I want this guy to be good. I really do. I don't
6
think
mana is a lot to ask.
6 is a lot. Though I will say 6 is a lot, but he does activate the turn he comes in.
He does.
Yes.
He cannot choose himself, which is unfortunate. Not that it would really matter, but honestly, it's a really strong ability. I say highest of C, lowest of B.
I'd put him under Amber.
Under Amber?
Yeah, I think Amber and Bray just have a lot more going for them.
All right, I'll ask you this. Mana value 5, where does he go?
Even then,
Amber, maybe.
Yeah. His mana
still around there.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of if you have a random ass red or white creature, which they exist in his set that have myriad already. They're just oh, hey, haste myriad. I'm going to swing 1 creature at you and 4 creatures at you 2.
Yeah.
You can argue that, but I think he's definitely C tier. I say above Babala Saga, below Amber.
I'll accept that.
I think that's fair. Again, you pull him and you have nothing else really good and everything, go for it.
Or you have a good aggressive white red cards.
Yeah, if you have if you get a good balance of white, aggressive white and red cards, like you said.
Honestly,
definitely.
If you pull a Johnny and Duke Ulda Ravengard, play a Johnny in Duke Ulda Ravengard's deck so that this way you can trigger a Johnny and transform him.
No. Yeah. Because the cat token gets sacrificed.
Actually, what'll happen is you'll make 2 2/1s, then sack the other 2 Ajani's, and then the one transfers into a Planeswalker.
Perfect.
Wow,
so,
how do we not
Johnny, S-ranked card in Duke Ulda Ravengard's deck. That's stupid. I love it.
That is ridiculous.
So I've
Yeah.
got Dinah here, Invoker Adept, 1 in Jeskai, so red, white, and blue. For a 4/4 human wizard, haste, you may activate abilities of other creatures you control as though they had haste. Tap, when you next activate an ability this turn by spending 4 or more mana to activate it. Copy the ability, you may choose new targets for the copy. Bottom of C. She has 3 colors, but she is so restricted. There's nothing.
Oh yeah, her ability is yikes.
At least Alondo doesn't care about certain things.
Yeah,
Dinah here has
is
way too much. They have to have an activated ability, and you have to spend 4 or more mana for it to do the thing.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
agree.
The only reason she's not in D, she's in 3 colors.
Yeah. But
And
Dinah
you
here,
can find
unfortunately,
you can find a couple of good activated abilities.
yeah, you really could, honestly.
You could.
All right. Here we go. Next one. An infamous commander card. Not this version, but an infamous commander in general. Ella Domri, Corvic Doll.
We have another one that breaks the mold.
Yep.
Yep.
1 green and a green. Legendary creature, Elf Warrior. 3/3. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Right up my alley. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Green and tap. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Reveal a card from your hand or the top of your library. If you reveal a creature card this way, put it onto the battlefield. Activate only during your turn.
I think this goes without saying. He is probably the only monocolored commander I'd be willing to say S.
Yeah, honestly, if
Green
not
just
S,
has
high A.
green. He's got. Geek. What is your argument?
Only reason not S is because he's only 1 color. He's a very, I would agree, very high A, but he's
So, like,
monocolor in this
I'll
format.
ask you this: cheating a creature off the top of the library or from your hand, is that as good as the card advantage that is offered by Commander Lyra? Sorry.
I think he's better than her.
And the fact that like he gives you the ability that you can look at the top card
yeah.
of your library,
He's
like,
definitely better than the Boros.
he gives you knowledge that you know, like, oh, is it worth it to activate it now, or do I just
Is he
This
better than
like-
Astarion? I don't think so.
Astarion's going to be hard to top in the A rank only because again,
Yeah.
he does effectively have all of your opponent's life total.
I would put him under Balin, only because Balin has so many options.
I can
So
agree
many
with that.
colors.
I think
But yeah,
I
I think the lowest he is above Arna. Just because that ability is so
I
strong.
would put him above Commander though, in A tier.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I think that's a decent like
He's so good.
because I brought this up previously when we were talking about this. If you get lucky enough to get Eladamri and Yeba from Ravnica Remastered, because since we do get those packs, you can cast those with Flash. That is disgusting.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
still mono green, but still disgusting.
We're just going to make this one quick. Ellen Harbreeze, Busybody, 3 and a white for a 2/4. Tap, look at the top X cards of your library where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Choose a background. I don't even know if there's a background that makes her playable. I think she's D.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm
Because
not
the
even-
only background that really
think-
stands out to me that she could work for is Feywild Visitor.
Mhm.
Because that can make 1/1s. Cloakwood Hermit, but you have to find some way to get creatures into your graveyard. That's
In
different.
Selesnya.
and then the
and-
other one is Veteran Soldier, but that puts her in
And your
mono white.
white. Yep. D.
Yeah, definitely D. Sorry, Ellen. I don't think you're a bad commander, and definitely if you're in like Balin, if you have like a Balin deck, or who's the other token commander we have up here?
Henley Hem.
The
Oh, Kadira. Like
Kadira.
if it's Kadira or Balin, definitely put her in there. It's card advantage.
Oh yeah. All right. We got Aluge, the Shoreless Sea. 1 blue for a star elemental fish. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of islands you control. Whenever Aluge enters or attacks, put a flood counter on target land if it's an island in addition to its other types, for as long as it has a flood counter on it. And the first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs either a blue less or a colorless less. Each land you control with a flood counter on it. Some of these mono commanders are pretty good.
Yeah.
This one I'd put in the higher of C.
I think because
everything's relevant on it, and
well, I believe
you're held back by mono.
I want to say, I would say above the Jeskai and above Rihanna and Alalundo.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the furthest I can go. I really do think because the fact of it's only discounting instants and sorceries, and you're not in 2 colors like the otter one.
Right.
I think it's just too restrictive holding it back. But yes, and it's another one of those ones that if you pull it, please put it in your deck.
I'd put it above Alondo.
Definitely above Alondo. I'd be willing to make an argument to put it above Camellia as well.
I mean, you do have a lot more going for, like.
I think 2 colors is what keeps Camellia above Illuge for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're saying above Alondo.
Right there. Yes.
Yep. And I'm sorry, I got to make a note of this. Bill, did you call Dinah here Rihanna?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I heard that right. Okay.
Legitimately, look up a picture of Rihanna and put it right next to her, and they do look very similar.
I mean,
do we just want to freaking skip this one?
I mean,
it's D.
It's D.
It is, yeah. It's that Emrakul World Anew. Like, there's no.
You know what she does.
Yep.
You know what she did. Oh, we also have to skip what would be mine because it's the faceless one. It does nothing other than gives you a color.
So do we want to just put that in D?
It does technically give you. It does technically speaking give you another legendary creature in the command zone, which is kind of nice.
True enough.
But definitely D.
The background.
Okay, so we'll just move it to D then.
That. There we go.
Yeah.
So now we'll go scroll off. Hey, guess what? You get another D&D character.
Son of a bitch! God damn it!
All that skipping, you still have to do it. Unless we want Ryan to do it, since we already kind of skipped Emrakul.
Yeah, like we kind of tell you we skipped Emrakul, we skipped the faceless one because they're
go for it, Ryan. Do this one.
Do this one? Okay.
So
then that means you get the next one.
I'm doing Aranis.
Oh, can I do Arrhenius?
You want to do Arrhenius? I'm okay if you want to do Arrhenius.
It's fine.
All right. But yeah, so Arrhenius Gloomstalker, 2 and a green, legendary creature, Halfling Ranger, 3/3 with Death Touch. Whenever Arrhenius Gloomstalker attacks, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Choose a background. Honestly.
Okay.
Is this
so? I think the best suit for this one is Scion of Hallister.
Oh yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
Scion of let me.
Your first draw of the turn, you're like, oh, there's a land. Throw it in the graveyard anyway.
Then swing with Arrhenius and get the land back.
It's just very, very.
Yes,
what you get.
I actually think that puts Arrhenius above Amber for me.
Really?
Yeah, because realistically, if you're always pitching a land, it means you're never drawing trash. It also means you're going to get something worth it to you.
True, and
you're not actually losing any of those lands as long as Arrhenius is out in the battlefield able to do the thing they want to do.
Right, because she gets around the one land per turn. Like you play your land drop, it's like, oh, okay, well, Arrhenius attacks. Oh, I'm going to return this land to the battlefield thanks to the triggered ability. So in a way, she also ramps you too. Yeah, so I say below Brea, but above Amber is where I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, wait. Shouldn't you do Fibblethip then, Geek?
No. Ryan just did this one, so you do Fibblethip. You're next.
Okay. I was thinking because we also skipped the faceless one.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So.
Okay. This one is D. We're not even gonna talk about it.
All right. So that's basically a skip. Do the next one. You didn't get a chance to talk.
Oh, it's fine. I'll do Gale.
D&D one.
I'm about to say I'll do Gale. Well, I just throw me to the wolves. I'll do Gale. It's fine.
I mean,
Geek. I think this is you. I
just
think you
saying.
like this guy a lot, right?
No.
No? Okay.
He has. Come on. All right, so I'll go next. We've got Phineas, Ace Archer. He is green and white for a 2/2 rabbit archer with vigilance and reach, very relevant stats. Whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control that's a token or a rabbit. Then if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater, draw a card. Pretty solid. I think he's in the B range. You have to have tokens or rabbits, so that kind of cuts him back, but he is also a 2/2 vigilance reacher. So I'd put him, for me, I'd put him below Kadira.
I can agree with that. Right?
What about you, Ray?
Sorry, I was again still
You're
rearranging.
moving around.
Yeah,
We're thinking he's not as good as Kadira, but since he's 2 colors and very relevant, above Dragonhawk.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So, right in the middle.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
All right, Scruff.
This is Mr. Love Machine. Gale, Waterdeep Prodigy. I wasn't even trying to romance this guy, and he tried to sleep with me.
I've never played the
same.
game. I have no clue with these characters.
Oh, dude.
Gale is a Waterdeep Prodigy
Well, yeah, I can see that.
who fell in love with the goddess Mistra, who is the god of magic in D&D world.
Can we blame him?
No,
Okay.
but he also cheated on her. The dumbass.
Oh yeah,
Fumbles.
he pissed her off.
Fumbles.
2 and a blue for a 1/3 human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast up to 1 target card of the other type from your graveyard. I.e., if you cast an instant, you can cast a sorcery, and if you cast a sorcery, you can cast an instant. If a spell cast from the graveyard this way will be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Choose a background.
Gale can definitely be dangerous, especially if you give him the right
agree.
background.
My favorite background for him is Sign of Halaster.
I can agree with
For the
that.
same reason as Arenas.
Yeah,
If
honestly.
you pitch, you know you've got the instant in your hand, you pitch the sorcery.
Yeah,
Maybe double value.
I think Sign of Halaster definitely is the best option.
The other thing,
But other ones don't. I don't know if any of the other ones really help him.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now. I mean, you could if you don't have a lot of artifacts, Clancraft doesn't really do anything.
Minecraft is from the commander set, so you wouldn't get it.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't realize. I forgot that's the one.
None of the other ones really work with what he does.
No, I mean you could
Maybe
do criminal past,
Guild
make 'em
Artisan?
bigger.
Guild Artisan could help with the
it just gets some treasures.
Popular Entertainer could, help goad things. Ryan would love that.
Right? Yeah,
you can also
I
be Tavern
think it's
Brawler
Scion
and
of
make him an
Halaster.
attacker.
Noble Heritage, too.
And that
Yeah,
can give
could
you an
help.
instant or sorcery to get into your graveyard from exile and then cast it to
Yeah.
be able to cast it again.
So what are we feeling for Gale?
I think C below
I say below
Amber.
definitely below
Amber.
Arenas.
I might even say below Duke.
Below Duke, above Baba.
Yeah, I can
that's
agree with
fair.
that.
I can, yeah.
Cool.
All right, so
So now we're back into normal rotation. So the geek you
Are
have
we?
Ganex.
Yes,
Okay.
everything. So I've reorganized everything.
Okay.
For the most part,
Alright.
I'm still going through.
I've got Ganex, Astral Hunter, 4 in red for a 3/4 flying dragon. Whenever he or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, make a treasure. He has to choose a background.
I want him
Very
to be
low
good.
C because
yes.
he's very limited on having dragons.
Do we? So yeah, I also agree because like
I
he's
would say
definitely
the
not
other
something
thing
like-
to do is Far Traveler, putting him in.
And flicker
Boros.
and make Boros treasures.
Yeah.
You could do that.
So let's see.
But I'd still put him in the
Definitely-
low C around
Yeah,
Alondo
but-
and
Above Dynahir, above Alondo, Did we say he's above Elugai?
I'd
think
put him
so.
below Alondo, actually.
You think he'd be below Alondo?
Alondo works by himself regardless.
True.
Ganix
and Ganix
requires
does
you to
kind of
have
a
something,
background. Yeah.
a relevant background or another dragon.
The other thing we might do is he might actually be one of the ones that works in a mono color. And we give him well, actually no, Feywild Visitor would be pretty good for him.
True.
Feywild Visitor actually be great for him.
But again, you have to get the right cards, so that puts him very low on C4.
No, because Feywild Visitor says whenever one or more non-token creatures you control. Oh, okay. I know. I see what you're saying. Never mind.
You have to either get that one or Far Traveler or more dragon. That's a pretty big ask.
The other one is the Dragon Cultist, but that puts him in mono red.
Yes. So I'd put him above Dyna here, but below Alondo, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Again, if you get him and you get the right type of you get the right type of background, everything for him. Different story. He can definitely do some work, but other than that,
I love how I have a Bloomborough character and then I immediately have another D&D character.
Yep.
Yeah, I have.
You're next.
This is you, Rai.
I have Genku. Oh god, give me a second.
Did you look up Gev?
Yes, I looked up Gev. I thought I had the little lizard.
Nope, that's me.
That's fine.
Genku.
It'll just take me a second. It's just waiting for his stuff to load up.
Also, I think I already know where I put this character.
Genku?
Who, Genku? I have an idea. So Genku, Future Shaper, 2 white and a blue for 2/5 legendary creature Moonfolk Wizard. Whenever another creature another non-token permanent you control leaves the battlefield, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a token with those characteristics so you either can create a 2/2 white fox with vigilance, a 1/2 blue Moonfolk with flying, a 1/1 black rat with lifelink, and he also has the ability 3 blue and a white, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control.
Below lowest of A.
I could see that.
I can agree with A.
I think because you cannot control things leaving the battlefield as well in this type of format.
Very true.
But honestly, the ability to just pump everything
My only one
is
would
definitely
be
strong.
if it wasn't lowest of A, I would put it under Arna and above Johnny.
I could, you know what? I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Only because 2 colors, pretty restrictive, but he's not unplayable.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely say B. Like,
you get a couple fetch lands
B.
though. Like an Evolving Wilds or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right. Yep. So next is the Lizard.
Gev, Scaled Scorch, red and a black for a 3/2 Lizard Mercenary. It is Ward, pay 2 life. Other creatures you control enter with an additional +1/+1 counter on them for each opponent who lost a life this turn. And whenever you cast a Lizard spell, Gev deals 1 damage to target opponent.
I want to say 2 mana for a 3/2 with Ward of pay 2 life in Rakdos is insane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a very solid little dude. I think the only thing holding him back is the fact that the easiest way to trigger that ability of entering in with +1/+1 counters is cast Lizards, and there's just not many.
I don't know.
No, even with the Viashinos and everything being errata.
However, if you can find other ways for your opponents to lose life and start casting your creatures in min phase 2, whoo, Nelly, could that get out of control?
I'd put him above Genku.
I would accept above Genku. I think the biggest thing giving him a benefit is the fact that he's only 2 mana.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ward.
And Ward.
The Ward pay 2 life is
normally not a big deal. In this, a little bit more of a deal.
Big deal.
I don't think it's a big deal, but it's a little bit more of a deal.
I also get a Bloomborough card.
Yep, you get Glarb.
Glarb, Calamity's Augur, Sultai, which is black, green, and blue for a 2/4 Frog Wizard Noble with Death Touch. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may pay lands and cast spells with mana value 4 or greater from the top of your library. Tap him to Surveil 2. A.
Yeah.
He's generically good. He has good colors. He has good stats.
I
He does.
actually
You don't even
think-
have to have the 4 mana value thing. You just get things.
and you're going to yell at me. I think he's above Balin.
That's fine.
Okay.
He's
No,
in better
they're-
colors for Commander than Balin is. So
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think Glarb might be stronger than Asterion. I think this is where Asterion's
No.
mana cost hurts him.
No, because Glarb does not give you a way to win. He gives you the advantage to find it. Astarion will actually win you the game. That's my only reason to say
Okay.
not.
All right. Fair. I can accept that. So yeah, above Balin, but below Asterion.
Yes.
I'm surprised Asterion's this high on the list still.
He is very relevant
He's
for this
good
format.
for-
I
for
did
this
not-
format, he is
Did not
good.
think about that. Okay. Apologies. Ryan, you have the one group hug commander. Go for it. Glunch.
Glunch is-
This is funny. Glunch honestly is not a pushover. And
No.
so Glunch the Bestower. 1 green and a white, so 1 in Selesnya for a 0/5 legendary creature jellyfish with flying. At the beginning of your end step, choose a player. They put 2/1/1 counters on the creature they control. Choose a second player to draw a card, then choose a third player to create 2 treasure tokens.
Wow,
This is
it does
group
so
hug.
much.
Out the ass.
Is it high B?
It's very high B for me.
It's very.
I was
I
waiting
think it's
for
above
Ryan, but yeah.
Gev.
It's above Gev.
I think it's above
Yeah,
Gev. The
That
question is,
politicking can help you so much.
you can either
I'm
ramp
at the
yourself,
ball
you
for
can
the guys,
pump
I
your
had to take a phone
creatures,
call.
you can continue to draw cards, and a
And nobody wants to hurt you
0/5?
too much when you're helping them out like that.
Exactly. There's so much weight that Glunch brings to the party. I
And have
think
you ever seen Jen's Glunch
I was
deck
literally
from
just thinking about that.
Filthy Casuals? MTG Casuals, by the way, really awesome people. You should go follow them on Twitter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as we were discussing, Rye, if you agree with this, Glunch is high B, actually. Like
Above
Glunch,
Gev, below Arna.
Glunch is definitely, I can agree, can be a high B because while it's only Selesnya, it's a very fun commander. It can make a very, like, not many people are going to see Glunch and go like, oh, that's a problem, and like he's not going to get hated off the board. But he's
I
definitely
would, but
he's a
that's
strong he's a strong commander. So I agree.
I was about to say we are only saying that because we know Jen from Filthy MTG Casuals.
I also
deck.
always target the group hug player regardless.
I have never played against her Glunch deck.
Okay.
Next.
We're gonna talk about the next D ranked commander, Gorian, Wise Mentor.
Oh yeah, Gory.
Do you want to just skip it and you can do Grists or something?
No,
wait.
it's fine. No, it's fine because like realistically, there's a talk for him to be C. He's green, white, blue for a 3/4 human wizard with vigilance. Whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. The only reason I say it's okay is there are adventure cards in Baldur's Gate. There's also adventure cards in WoW.
Yes.
And
Highest of D.
Kellen is highest of D or lowest of C.
Yeah, I could do
I
that.
think the fact that
Yeah,
Kellen
he has
also
3
has
colors.
adventure cards.
He is 3
Yes.
colors, and he's a 3/4 with vigilance, which is relevant.
Yes.
So I would say low C just because he relies
Colors.
on adventures.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
like
colors
let's
is
put it
what
this way: if
saves
you're
him,
trying
honestly.
to build him to get off the adventures, don't.
There's not enough.
There's not. But yeah,
All right. I've got mine.
Look at
I have Grist.
This is our
Voracious.
second Planeswalker.
Yep.
technically,
I've got both
yeah.
of them so far. Grist Voracious Larva. 1 green for a 1/2 with Death Touch. Whenever Grist or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, you may pay green. If you do, exile Grist transformed. It becomes a Planeswalker, a Golgari one, with starting level 2/3. +1, make a black and green bug 1/1 and mill 2 cards. Put a Death Touch counter on the token if a black card was milled this way. -2, destroy target artifact or enchantment. -6, for each creature card in your graveyard, make a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1 bug.
Above Camellia, below Ashling. You're almost never going to be able to flip this little guy.
Yeah,
True.
you are gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
You are never going to feel good about flipping him. Let's put
No.
it that way.
True.
I say
One mana,
above
1/2
Camellia.
Death Touch, though.
That's why I say above Camellia, because the stat line is relevant, actually, because it has Death Touch. And it is a 1 mana commander, so it'll be out and doing damage early.
If you're
Like,
playing
really early.
if you're playing Gris, you're probably just playing him for the colors.
Yeah.
The fact
So
because he gives you
it'll go be
Golgari.
black-green, so it's something.
Yep.
Oh, Scruffy, Ryan gets gut.
It's okay. We're going to
God.
talk about Gut, one of my favorites.
Leave both Guts card.
Gut,
And make sure I
True
pull-
Soul Zealot.
There it is. Yep. So Gut is two in a red for a 2/2 legendary creature goblin shaman. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature or an artifact. If you do, you create a 4/1 black skeleton creature token with menace that's tapped and attacking. Choose a background.
So, there are a few different backgrounds that work for her because her ability is incredibly open-ended. Realistically, her strongest color identity for her is in red-black, and the strongest background for her is Agent of the Iron Throne.
Okay, that's I was wondering which one you were gonna say. Yeah,
Cloakwood
Agent-
Hermit also good. For Gruul.
For Gruul,
Yeah.
you can make that argument too.
Yeah, I could see that. I also would not be against somebody doing Agent of the Shadow Thieves because
Mhm.
Gut getting indestructible is actually very relevant so that you can continue to trigger her.
Yeah.
However, the wild card I'd like to throw out there is
Inspiring
mine.
Leader?
Well, that is a good one, actually. Her making just straight up 7/3s with Menace is
6/3s.
Oh yeah, 6/3s. 6/3s with Menace.
It's just gross.
It is gross. My deck that I play with her is Gut and Feywild Visitor. So
Yeah.
you'll start hitting with your non-token creatures and make a couple of those 1/1 flyers, and then you swing with those 1/1 flyers and turn them into 4/1s with Menace. It
That's
gets
pretty good.
nutty.
I think she's a very high A.
I don't know if she's high A, only because
There's a lot of backgrounds that help.
there is
Okay,
true.
low A.
Yeah. Lowest
Say
of A.
low.
I would accept lowest of A.
Yeah, low A, like
If you
or
can
if
get
one-
if you can get a black, green, or white background for her, I think you can make a very strong deck for what she does. Especially because with Feywild Visitor, while you care about hitting with non-token creatures, she does not care if you sacrifice a token. And like Agent of the Iron Throne also does not care if you're sacrificing a token. I spit on my own screen in excitement. That brings us to the bear himself, Halsin Emerald Archdruid. 3 and a green for 2/4. For 1, until end of turn, target token you control becomes a green bear creature with base power toughness 4/4, in addition to its other colors and types. I mean, solid. It works. I think it also choose a background. Sorry. I think the big thing you want here is you want the backgrounds that are going to make you tokens.
In a different color, though. So, Veteran Leader,
Veteran
Feywild
Soldier,
Visitor.
and Feywild Visitor are the two big ones.
they're the two that probably stick out the most.
Although, he does not say creature token, so Guild Artisan is in play on that. You can make treasure
Yeah.
bears.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a
And then
Okay.
Inspired Leader would help because it does buff tokens.
Yes,
He's versatile, but I'd put him in the low end of B.
I would as
Because
well.
he's very dependent on that background.
I think
he
below
is,
ball.
You think below
Yes.
ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can get the background that makes him work, your deck's gonna be really, really funny to watch go.
Oh yeah.
But
100%.
if you don't, he's gonna fall flat.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
So I get another
is-
Bloomborough character.
You
I
do.
got Helga, the Skittish Seer, Bant. So blue, white, and green for a 1/3 frog druid. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value of 4 or greater, you draw a card, gain a life, and put a 1 counter on her. You can tap her to add X mana of any one color, where X is her power. Spend it only to cast creature spells with mana value of 4 or greater, or creature spells with X in their mana cost. She's pretty good. It's a little limited on the trigger, but it's still a really good trigger, and she's also still a mana dork. So
Yeah.
she's in the high B for me.
I
Maybe below Gev.
say
but
that
it's
she's
still high B.
probably above. I would. I
I put her below Glunch.
could accept that.
Yeah,
She's really good, but little limited on that.
Yeah, I can
But
accept
also
that.
very
Limited,
relevant
but-
colors.
but not impossible to work with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, above.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
below
agree.
Glunch.
Oh, she's
Right,
so
you
cute.
got another dragon.
Such a cute little frog.
I can't get away from the dragons.
Scruff can't get away from D&D characters. You can't get away from dragons.
I
This
do
one's gonna
not
be-
have
this
the
one's-
next D&D character though, which is kind of nice.
I do. I actually just checked.
Yeah, you do.
So we're going to be pretty quick on this one. Haragast, Erupting Nullkite, 9 mana for a 6/6 Eldrazi dragon.
You're never paid 9 for that.
No, you're never going to pay 9. The emerge cost does help. Emerge is 6 and 2 red. Whenever you cast this spell, you may exile your hand if you draw 3 cards. It has flying. Each creature spell you cast has emerge. The emerge cost is equal to its mana cost. And emerge is you can sacrifice other creatures to reduce its mana cost in that regards. So
D.
it's
too
definitely
limited.
it's too limited.
Better than Bruvac, but not as good as
yeah,
Meza.
I would definitely I agree above Bruvac, but below 100%.
Because if you can get enough things, cool, sure.
But you're very, very restricted in both because like your only options are to be colorless or mono red. I'm commander, and I'm building him as a commander deck, but for
In
this,
the immortal words of the legendary Super Saiyan Broly from Team 4 Stars Dragon Ball Z Abridged movie, Hugs. Hugs, Grizzly Guardian is red, green for an X for a 5/5 Badger Warrior with Trample. When Hugs Grizzly Guardian enters, exile the top X cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. S.
He's
Hugs
very
is-
solid.
Hugs is there's no
S,
debate on that.
If we are putting him in A, he is below Asterion, but above Glarb.
I
actually think he might be better than Asterion, honestly.
mm,
Hugs gives you a little he
For
gives you
me,
the extra
he-
land plays are great.
I would put him under Astarion only because Astarion like doubles your damage essentially. Hugs gets through and can win you because he is a relevant trampler,
Mhm.
and he does ramp you. It's pretty close. Definitely above Glarb.
I would
But
say
I
that
would debate
Asterions
on
above.
Astarion.
I would say Asterions above him because the one thing that we want to
Okay.
do is if we're looking at these two as commanders, like Asterion versus Hugs, like you
Mhm.
said, Asterion helps you win the game. Hugs just kind of helps you along.
He gets the engine going.
He is a 5/5 with Trample, which is
Yeah.
relevant
yeah.
and can give you extra card advantage. But I think
Okay.
Asterion's legitimate ability to just win the game, just allow
Yeah,
you to
so
end an opponent's life,
I
is
think-
very strong.
I think middle right below
All
Asterion.
All of the bi vampire lovers are loving this right now.
Yeah. All right. So I have another mono red commander, Ilhard,
Indeed.
the Raised Boar. 3 red for a 6/6 Boar God Trampler. Whenever it attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield tapped and attacking. Return the creature to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. If it would die or be exiled from the battlefield, you may put it in its owner's library, third from the top. It is mono, but it has a very generically good ability. I would put it in C, but above Alando and Aluge
Yeah,
because of that.
I'll accept that.
I think that's fair, honestly. Like when you
Above
when you think
Aluge
about it.
because it doesn't care what kind of creature. It just puts it
Yeah.
out for free. It's already attacking,
Yep.
and you get it back. And he doesn't die very easily. Which is
No,
always good.
I definitely agree with that. Like he doesn't. But I think where we place him is honestly is solid.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
next.
Ryan gets a D&D commander this time.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I actually get 2 in a row.
Nice.
So-
yes, you do.
I have a Moen right now. So a Moen Mystic Trickster, 2 and a blue, for a 2/3 legendary creature, human rogue wizard, ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, if you have the initiative, draw a card. Draw another card if you completed a dungeon. Choose a background.
So
Honestly,
downside is there are no backgrounds that just offer you the initiative, so you'd
Yep.
have to get it a different way. I don't think there is a background that really makes her that good. I would put her in D.
I would
yeah.
agree.
I think
She-
she's above. I think she's below Beza, but above everybody else because she will get you into 2 colors.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
I'll go
That's
with that.
that's honestly her only saving grace here. Unfortunately,
All right, Scruff.
one of my personal favorites from
Alrighty,
Mage Story.
this is Imskir Iron Eater. He's 6 red and a black D for a 5/5 demon. Affinity for artifacts. Hold on. When Imskir Iron Eater enters, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is half the number of artifacts you control, rounded down. 3 in a red, sack an artifact. Imskir deals damage equal to the sacrificed artifact's mana value to any target. It's solid. It's real
Low
solid.
A for me. Lowest of A.
Lowest of A, really? Okay.
You are very limited on having artifacts of particular size for his other ability.
True.
He does get you advantage.
I was
But
going to put him
again,
in B.
Lowest
Well,
of A, highest of B would work, yeah.
I think realistically I put him above Genku, but below Gev.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
I only because Imskir, yes, he does have affinity for artifacts. He will, if you have him, you're almost never going to pay a ton
price.
for this guy, even in Commander Sealed. I think again the big thing to bring up is the fact that like you're never gonna have really big enough artifacts for it to matter of him doming somebody.
And
Although
the
he
amount
does
of
give you a lot of
artifacts-
card advantage.
He does give you
the
card advantage.
is very good. Like the downside is that like you eventually you will run out of like ways to like
Life.
recur your artifacts, life,
Yeah, I'm thinking
stuff like
I'm thinking like how did like all right, let's put a generic situation on him. You have 4 artifacts. So for 4 mana, you get a 5/5 that draws you 2 cards and loses you 2 life. How do you feel about that?
It draws you, yeah, after that. Yep.
so
I feel
that-
pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not
honestly,
bad.
Yeah. That
So I think, but I feel like Gev just being that ability where he's a super low mana value commander with protection against himself. Yes, Imskir's got reduction ability, but the commander tax would eventually add up.
Yep. If you got
I can
people
agree
just
with that.
constantly
I think above
removing him,
Genku, below Gev.
I think
Rakdos has
so.
got a really strong showing in this list.
and the bad part is this is the first part of it. We still got we got to figure out another video for the rest.
I've got another D&D character, Jahira, Friend of the Forest, 2 and a green for a 2/3 human elf druid. Tokens you control have tap out a green. Choose a background. She's really good.
She's
As
good.
long as
She
you've got
is
tokens.
very strong. I think the strongest backgrounds for her are veteran soldier, something that makes her tokens.
Yeah,
Guild
definitely.
Artisan helps.
Guild
Feywild
Artisan does
Visitor
help.
helps.
Feywild Visitor does help.
I mean, you've got 3 different token generating
ins-
backgrounds.
Inspired
Dragon
Leader
Cultist
can
might
also
actually help. It
That
takes it.
depends on you being able
yeah.
to hit somebody for 5, but yes. You don't really want to be tapping dragons for mana. You want
This is
you
also
want them to be
very
beating
true.
people in the face.
100%.
1/1's tapping for mana is fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Or treasures never having to be sacrificed. They just make green for you, you know.
Yeah.
She's dependent on the background, but she is a high ceiling. So, kind of like Amber, I think. She's probably a little better than Amber, not quite as good as Arenas, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. I think that's fair.
Right. This is you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here we go. Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter. Just some easiest casting cost. Mardu. For a 3/3 legendary creature, gnome artificer with haste, and has tap Sacrifice an artifact creature, create 2 treasure tokens. Or tap, sacrifice a non-artifact creature, or non-creature artifact, sorry, that's worded weirdly. Create 2 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens. He's too restricted. You think? I think he's too restricted.
He makes the things he needs.
As soon as you have an artifact that he can sack, he can start to go back and forth.
You can keep it going.
He's in 3 colors. He has haste.
I can agree. I didn't think of it that way.
I think he's above Corvectol, but below Balin.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
All right. Another D&D character for you, Scruff.
Yep. This is John Irenicus, Shattered One. 2, a blue and a black for a 3/3 elf wizard. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent gains control of up to 1 target creature you control. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it and tap it. It's goaded for the rest of the game, and it gains this creature cannot be sacrificed. Whenever a creature you own but don't control attacks, draw a card. This guy's an A, actually.
He's really good.
You're in 2 colors. He can come out early enough. He only cares if your thing attacks. But if you're giving your opponents the things to do, then yeah.
So that hit you.
And also on top of that, it's up to 1, which means you don't have to activate this ability.
That is true.
I'm thinking
strong.
A or B, definitely.
I put him above Commander, the Boros Commander.
So above
but below
Eladamri.
The only reason I would say that he's below Gut in the A section is that Gut and Liara both have a capability that works past you having creatures, where John doesn't do anything if you don't have any creatures.
That is true.
They can work themselves. Yeah. So I think very bottom
below Gut.
Bottom A.
Yeah. It is a hell of a gotcha when your opponents are not expecting it. Because they're going to go, what are you doing? Hey, here's this 8/8 artifact creature I picked up. Now it's a 10/10 and you have to swing it elsewhere.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Well,
here's a blast from the
I've got Kalia, everyone's boogeyman from when I started Commander.
This means I get Karlach. Let's go.
I'm so sad about that. I wanted Karlach.
We
all wanted Karlach, but that's
that's actually true. We all wanted.
Anyway, so wanted Mardu will get you a 2/2 flying human cleric. That you know what she does. Whenever she attacks, you put an angel, demon, or dragon on the battlefield, tapped and attacking the opponent.
Highest of C.
No. I would put her above Dinah here. Maybe above Alando and Aluge, but not above Ilharg.
The reason I say highest of C is because she works for 3 different creature types. So she has way more access than these other kindred commanders do. Yes, she is a lightning bolt for removal.
Oh, absolutely.
But when your opponents can't, the one time she swings, you're already getting more value than half the commanders in C.
The only difference on that I have is in the sets that were guaranteed, not a lot of angels, not a lot of dragons, not a lot of demons.
There's angels, demons, and dragons in every set.
But they're usually rare. Very few uncommons.
I'm not saying she's the best.
I'm just saying she's under Ilharg. That's me.
Under Ilharg, but above Eluge?
Yes. Only because Ilharg has no restriction.
I accept it. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
She's not great in this format, but she's still a boogeyman. She's still a flying 2/2 for 4 mana.
Rah, you a bitch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Do we not like this commander? I like this commander.
No, the commander's fine. As a character, she's awful.
I have no idea what the character is.
This is Kaga Arch.
I mean, I know the name, but I don't know her.
Read it off.
Yeah. So Kaga, Shadow Archdruid, 2 black and a green. Very fitting after I learned how our attitude is in freaking Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary creature Elf Druid 1/4. Whenever Kaga Shadow Archdruid attacks, it gains Death Touch until end of turn, mill 2 cards. Once during each of your turns, you may play a land card or cast a permanent spell from among the cards in your graveyard that were put there from your library this turn.
Okay, so let's be real. She's in C.
She's
It's really good.
Yeah.
I think she can be, because the problem is, like, let's say, so she's a how much mana commander?
4.
Okay, so let's say you started the game with 4 lands in your hand, and so you turn 4 play her, right? Turn 5 she gets to attack and start doing her thing. She attacks, and if your opponent doesn't care, they can kill her, and now you're not playing anything. All you've done is mill 2 cards. There's also the possibility that you mill cards that have a higher mana value than you have mana available to you.
True.
Meaning,
Very
and
true.
she only cares about the cards she milled this turn, which means she doesn't
Also
get to
true.
do anything else. She can be very strong. She can be. C, I say
she's a
above
gamble.
Gale, but below Duke.
Oh, in C tier?
Yes.
I can understand that. The reason, so I can understand that from it's because she's a coin flip essentially.
I would put her above Ball. But below Dragonhawk. Because Ball has almost, has very similar kind of restrictions, but we still put him up in B. And put her up above that one, because you can at least get a land.
Rye, I'll let you be the deciding factor here.
Like you say, like the thing that really holds her back is
Okay. May
the coin flip.
I use a previous time that I've seen Kaga played as an example?
Sure.
Go for it.
During the first Commander Seal that I was ever at, both Beth, Queen of Cardboard, and my partner Shannon or Shannable, both played her, and they had a miserable time with her.
Okay.
Because the mill cards in these sets are not great. So you only ever get to do her thing on your turn. And it's only ever 2 cards.
Sure.
Okay.
I do believe the sets in some of the
So
sets
above Duke?
I'll accept above Duke, mainly because Duke's mana cost holds him back.
Above Duke it is.
I'm jealous of you.
I'm also jealous of you because you do get an Orzhov Karlov.
I'm happy because I get the bear.
Karlok! Fury of Avernus!
She's S. She's S.
4 and a green for a 5/4 Tiefling Barbarian.
Yeah, honestly.
Whenever you attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap all attacking creatures to gain first strike until end of turn. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Whoo! Nelly! Also choose a background like
So
she
doesn't
fucking
Karlach-
needed it.
Yeah, but so doesn't Karlach have choose a background?
Choose a background.
I'm gonna say this right now. Her strongest background, you're gonna laugh at me, is one of 2. Either put her in Is It and give her Sword Coast Sailor, so this way she's definitely getting through to be able to attack twice. Or Flaming Fist, because giving her double strike is hilarious.
Oh,
You ain't-
God.
You ain't lying.
As
Yeah.
far as like possibilities with the other ones, there's
Lots of-
really no downside to any background that she could be in.
No, honestly.
Um,
She is just a good freaking card.
I would say she's above Hugs.
above Hugs, below Asterion.
Because at least Asterion, you've got the win con on him. She relies on the background, but more than likely you'll
Yeah.
have a good one.
I accept
True.
that. I accept that.
I
Throw
think
her
that is
all
fair.
the way up in A.
There we go.
A Lamau.
I mean, I would have said S, but I'm a little biased
You
on
can-
her. She's
You
pretty
can
awesome.
argue. See, like I would say, like again,
If I'm being realistic, it's A.
if we're getting to that point, I would say we would move Astarion up to S because he has a way to close
He
up
may
the
need to
game.
be moved. We may
Yeah,
have to start thinking about stuff in a moment.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with doing that now where he's the low version of S.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
I think we move Astarion up to S because
Every argument has been
But
he stays at
Astarion's
the
better,
top.
which is now putting it to the maybe he deserves to be up
He
there.
just
then.
is S. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that one. All right,
Jesus
so I go back to Ravnica again, which is kind of fitting considering one of my main decks, but
No, that's true.
Karlov of the Ghost Council, Orzhov for a 2/2. Spirit Advisor. Whenever you gain life, 2 1/1 counters on Karlov of the Ghost Council. Pay Orzhov and remove 6 1/1 counters from Karlov to exile target creature. I like him. He's really cool. He's really damn slow.
He is.
Yeah.
Definitely in the C tier.
Yeah, I think C above Borby.
I could do that.
I can
Above
agree with
Borby.
above. Yeah.
There should be enough ways for you to gain life. It's going to still
yeah.
be slow.
And
you
especially
should have enough ways in this format to get some life.
Especially with gaining life in white-black too. Also, white-black does have counter synergies and able to put on counters in other ways. So yeah, I think above Borby, below the Worrywart, because the Worrywart is a mana dork.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's
He used to have a space in my Niv Mizzet Reborn All Ravnica deck, my first planar project deck,
Put him back.
until the new Tomic came out.
Never mind. Fair enough. Leave it there.
All right. Up next.
Bird.
Yeah, Bird.
Bird's the word.
Castrol, the Wind Crested. 3 white and a blue for a 4/5 legendary creature bird scout. With flying, and then whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose one. You may put a bird creature from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield with a finality counter on it, put a 1/1 counter on each bird you control, or draw a card.
It's completely fine.
It's fine, but it's low C, I think.
I would put it above
I would
Kaga.
say high C, if not low B, because he triggers for himself.
Yeah, I put it above
He
Kaga.
is a bird.
True. Okay.
Definitely
true.
above Kaga. I would say probably even above Amber.
I'd be willing to say
4/5
above
with flying.
Jaheira.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Arrhenius's team up of being able to of getting lands back from your graveyard, so like just regular ass fetch lands are
and the
good.
Death Toucher.
Yeah, and a Death Toucher at that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's
This one would be higher if it was less mana. 5 in Azorius is high, but still it's a 4/5 that pumps itself at the very least.
Yeah. Or draws you a card.
Alrighty.
Yep.
We have Kitza, Otterball Elite. 1 and a blue for a 1/3 Otter Wizard. It has Vigilance, Prowess. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card. 2, tap. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Activate only if Kitza's power is 3 or greater. D.
They're so cute, but yeah, D.
Adorable.
So cute, but
it's too limited.
D.
One of those things that if you pull
do
it,
we
play
say
above.
Do we say above?
Above I don't think it's
Harrogast.
above Beza, but above Harrogast definitely.
Okay.
I think that there is just a bunch of initiative cards that are in white and blue, which is the 2 most common colors for taking the initiative. And Emoen is blue in her identity, and if you get a white background or can trade for a white background, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Kitza is below Emoen, but above Harrogast.
All right.
Oh my god, I've got the goblin. Sorry.
I got Corlessa, Scale Singer, Simic, blue and green, for a 1/4 Dragon Bard. You may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may cast dragon spells from the top of your library. It's really low, but you do get to look at your library, which is not bad.
Above,
I would say
above Kalia, below Ilharg.
Sure.
Actually,
you can ignore the rest of her text.
Actually,
She's
I would say
just
below Kalia. Actually,
yeah, at least she can't really attack much.
Yeah.
So going here.
Yep.
Right, Rye, do you agree with that?
I do. I've looked at this card numerous times, and while it works for dragons,
The only reason we're gonna keep Ryan with this commander, because we all know where it's going, is because I know Ryan wants the bear more than anything.
I want the bear. Do not steal the bear from me.
Ryan, go ahead and read Kozilek.
Yeah. So yeah, next Eldrazi, Kozilek, the Broken Reality, 9 mana for a 9/9 legendary creature Eldrazi. When you cast a spell, up to 2 target players each manifest 2 cards from their hands. For each card manifested this way, you draw a card, and then other colorless creatures you control get +3/+2.
Mother
While-
D.
While the Eldrazi are all strong for this, you do not want to run it. It is just
Does it have any colorless, or is it 9 generic?
9 generic.
Like, okay, the Eldrazi Titans, if you have them, if you pull them, put
If you
them in
have
your
them,
deck,
play them.
You put them in the 99.
yeah, absolutely.
But as a commander,
No.
not
Alrighty.
for this.
Let's get this over with. Krenko, my boss. I actually think it's funny. I'm back to Krenko after I voiced him during Ravnica.
I'm waiting for the voice to come out.
I am Krenko. It's 2 red for a 3/3 Goblin King. Warrior. Tap, create X/1/1 red Goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control.
D.
D?
Eh,
Flip
I mean,
side
you-
to
you
it.
can-
Flip
you
side
can
to
make
it.
it work.
You can make it work, especially because almost every goblin's in red.
Yeah,
True.
pretty much.
Low C then.
I would say low C.
Low C.
Are
Lowest
we saying
of
like
C.
lowest?
I
Lowest
was gonna
C.
say above Ashling.
What?
He's done. So first off, he does work on
Krenko
himself,
does-
He
Yeah,
does work on
And-
himself slowly.
and if he gets out of control, everyone loses.
true. You can argue like I get it. Like
Again,
yeah,
also
Modern
I
RP is
saw
slow.
Alan mental misplays.
That
Deck.
was a fluke.
That mofo got impact tremors with Krenko.
You can still get impact tremors in this format if you
I
go
know!
roll pack.
That's
Or you
my
get traded
argument.
one. I'm not trading a Krenko player impact tremors, but that's just
Fuck
me.
no.
Lester handing me a one ring.
My philosophy for
I mean,
Seal is as long as it's in my not in my colors, you can have it. I want you to build the best deck you can have. I'll give everything
Fair.
away.
I Krenko. All right, fine. I will accept Krenko above Grist.
Fine.
Okay.
Best say like
Oh.
in the middle.
I get an interesting one.
You get Crick.
Crick, son of Yawgmoth. 4 Phyrexian black, Phyrexian black, Phyrexian black for a 2/2 Phyrexian horror minion with lifelink. For each black in a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that mana. And whenever you cast a black spell, put a 1/1 counter on Crick. He's really good.
He's
really,
such a.
really good.
The problem
He's
is
commander, but you need black spells.
Yeah.
I'd put him above Krenko for me.
I was gonna put him above Borby.
Sure, I can accept that.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah, I would say if he didn't have lifelink and everything, he'd be lower. But
Yeah.
Honestly, if he didn't have lifelink, he'd be in D.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
Yep.
Rye
Ryan.
Got my boy.
at Hell's Heart, stab at thee.
Our next card is Kudo, King Among Bears. Just really straightforward. 2 mana, green and a white. Selesnya for a 2/2 legendary creature bear. Other creatures have base power and toughness 2/2 and are bears in addition to their other types.
Honestly,
him.
B.
You played him.
If I pull him, I'm playing him.
Honestly, I think he's B, and I think he's above Gev.
I would
He disrupts your opponents as well.
say I would put him under John.
In A,
Maybe.
I take it.
That's an incredibly relevant ability. All these bombs people pull, they're just
Mhm.
2/2s.
They're
And
just
it's like,
bears.
oh hey,
They're just
oh,
bears.
that's a great.
Is he a 2/2 or a 4/4?
He is a 2/2.
He's a 2/2. But everything's a 2/2.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly,
That
yeah.
kind of disruption is just really, really good.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Okay, below
It's like-
John.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Honestly, I'd accept above John.
John can win you the game.
Yeah,
Kudo can't.
Kudo
true.
could not.
on his own.
But I just imagine like I'm in a game and I'm like, you're playing one of the Eldrazi's. Oh, it's not. Oh, that's great. 2 mana. It's a 2/2 now. It's a bear. It's like, what is it? No, it's a
All right,
bear.
Scruff, you get another D&D character.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite grumpy.
People.
I am a D&D character, a non-D&D character, and then a D&D character again.
I am upset. I don't
this
get Lumra.
Is Lae'zel, that Vlaakith's champion. 2 and a white for a 3/3 Gith warrior. If you would put 1 or more counters on a creature or planeswalker you control or on yourself, but that many plus 1 of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead. Choose a background. I think the big important thing to mention here is her best background is Master Chef.
Agreed.
She does also do quite a lot with Noble Heritage.
Yep.
Keeping her in
Keeping her
mono
in
white
mono
is
white.
unfortunately. I think because if it's Master Chef or bust, that's the only problem I have with her.
Yeah.
That puts her
So-
solid in C for me.
Yeah.
So we're thinking C tier. Where are we thinking?
I think
around Gris, Krenko, Ashling, Borbo, somewhere in that vein.
Okay.
I
So we're
would say
thinking, like
above Krenko.
above Krenko, so
Yeah.
in between.
There you go.
Okay.
She can go say hi to Ashling right now.
Yeah, because I'll say this: if you get Master Chef, I think she immediately moves up to B.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, 100% agree.
Because you could play Master Chef first, then play Lae'zel, and Lae'zel comes in as a 5/5 for 3 mana, which is
Yeah.
All right. Lelia, the Blade Reforged. 2 and a red for a 2/2 Spirit Warrior with haste. When she attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from your library and or your graveyard, put a 1 counter on her. She's really good. She puts herself up, gives you card advantage, kind of like, what's her name? Commander, but she's in fewer colors. So that leaves her, to me, low end of B to higher end of C.
all right. If we're gonna put her that high, because I honestly think she's C.
High C then.
I would accept low B. Like if I would lowest to B. I would accept.
So we're saying below
That
Halston, but
or-
above Brea.
I just think that the fact of her high end potential is good, but a lot of the things I've seen, especially with what was it? Jarvis Moonbeam's Lelia deck. He has a lot of fun running that, but you do end up just exiling your bombs.
True. Probably put her down by Jaheira then.
I would
So
say
we're thinking- are we-
below Amber, above Kaga.
Sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
I like red cards,
Notice
as you can tell.
Then okay, this next card's gonna be really easy.
D.
Yeah, Lavinia Azorius Renegade, blue and a white for a 2/2 legendary creature human soldier. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it.
D.
It's very situational.
She is a 2/2 for 2,
Yeah,
and she stops your opponents from doing some stuff, some shenanigans.
true, but
She's
I
not
feel
that
like
bad.
she's not. No, she's
So
not horrible.
in normal
but she's
commander,
super
she's
situational.
she's very solid. How many people are going to have the ramp to cast for spells that they don't have the lands for?
Depends, but yeah,
Yeah, so
lowest of low C for me.
honestly, I
Honestly,
could agree with that.
all right. Yeah, she's the lowest of C.
Yeah,
Absolute lowest.
Lazav, the Multifarious. Blue and a black for a 1/3. When he enters, so I guess when they enter, because shapeshifter.
Interesting.
1/3 shapeshifter. When Lazav enters, surveil 1. Just look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard or put it back on top. X. Lazav the Multifarious becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X, except his name is Lazav the Multifarious. It's legendary in addition to its other types, and it has this ability. Is C probably above Karlov? Because your creature cards dying doesn't mean they're gone, because Lizov can just become them.
Yeah.
True.
I'd agree there.
I think he's very tricky, so.
He's the other guild leader who was replaced in my Niviza deck.
Oh god, oh no.
So I have Levon, Cultist of Tiamat, 2 and a red for a 1/3 Dragon Shaman. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, target creature gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is that spell's mana value, and choose a background. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential.
And most backgrounds are just good.
Work with him really well. Yeah.
Especially ones that would make him unblockable, because you just cast something and he gets big.
I think
like
he
sword,
actually
the
works.
Sword Coast Sailor.
I think he works really good with Hardy Outlander.
Yeah.
When this
he
creature
does that
attacks a
too.
player, because you cast a non-creature spell.
Yep.
He pumps himself, and then swinging, he pumps another creature as well. I actually think he's solid. I
think he works with pretty much any of them, other than having another red one.
I also think like Dungeon Delver is just not great as a background in general.
True enough. That one's not that great. But any of the others that are not red and not dragon specific, like, you got a lot of options on that.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say this, because of his potential, but because you're never guaranteed that potential, lowest of B.
Below Halzen?
Yeah.
Sure.
I would also accept above Halzen.
We like Halzen better.
I agree.
He makes bears.
Oh, it's lasagna. Where's Giraffe at when we need her?
Good, right?
I can just pull on Lozan's card up. If I could spell.
Oh, Ryan gets the poster child of Bloomborough.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Lumra. Lozan, Dragon's Legacy. 3 blue and a red for a 4/2 legendary creature Dragon Shaman. Flying, whenever you cast an adventure spell or dragon spell, Lozan Dragon Legacy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't the commander. Honestly, I say D.
I'd also say D.
I say D because while Lozan can deal direct damage to an opponent, you are heavily relying on dragons and adventures. Dragons you have a little bit more abundance for, adventures not so much, especially with being an Is It.
D below Beza.
Yeah.
I think
rather
that's
play
fair.
Beza.
I would also rather play Beza. Lulu! Everybody's favorite companion from Descent into Avernus. 3 and a white for a 3/2 with Elephant Angel with flying. The beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control, then untap them. This can be good.
Mm-hmm.
This can be really good.
Lulu does not have choose a background, correct?
She does. She does have choose a
Oh.
background.
Master Chef would be cool.
Master Chef's great for her.
Master, yeah, definitely. That's the first one that comes to mind.
Feywild Visitor.
Tavern Brawler could be interesting. She is a flyer already. Pump her up.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Raised by Giants, just make her a 10/10 flyer that makes things big again.
Actually, Cultist of the Absolute would not be bad either.
Yep.
Mainly because of it being her upkeep trigger, it would give you a way to get rid of a permanent you control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we say C or B?
I think C.
I think above Castrol.
Layla.
Oh. Below who?
Below Layla. Above Kaga.
Okay.
I can accept that. Yeah, I
think that's a fair. Get over there, you. There you go.
Lumra, let's just get this over with.
What do you mean? Let's get this over with. Lumer's awesome.
Lumer's awesome, but we know where Lumer goes.
Fellow of the Woods, four green for a star elemental bear with vigilance and reach. Her power and toughness is each equal to the number of lands you control. When she enters, mill 4 cards and return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. She's really cool. She's also mono green. I would put her above Beza though.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
vigilance and reach
really big.
Vigilance and reach are very relative keywords.
Yes, and if you're on curve, she's a 6/6.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
It could be bigger because you might get lands when you mill.
That's true.
I think we're about to have 2 Ds in a row. Go ahead, Rye.
Yeah. So next up, this is no offense to Mabel. This card is adorable, and I love the ornament. But yes, Mabel, heir to Cragflame, 1 red and a white for a legendary creature, Mouse Soldier. That's a 3/3. Other mice you control get +1/+1, and then when Mabel enters, create Cragflame, a legendary colorless equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance, trample, and haste, and equipped 2.
Hear me out.
Oh no, seriously, please do
go for it.
Put up the argument.
3/3 for 3 that makes an equipment that would give her vigilance, trample, and haste, and 1/1.
Makes her a 4/4. Yeah.
So she'll be a 4/4 vigilant, trample, haster, just on her own. That's not that bad.
It's not nothing. You can
I would put her at the
it.
lowest of C. If she's not the lowest of C, she's definitely the highest of D.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, flip side to that.
You do get 2 colors.
Flip side to that, though, I think I'd rather be playing Lumra or Beza than her.
All right, put her below Beza, but she's definitely really up there.
Yeah, no, she's not the lowest of D. Definitely not the lowest of D.
No.
But like, I just don't think she's that good, especially because if Cragflame came in and wasn't legendary, so she could make multiples of them after she's left the battlefield a couple of times, that would be something.
Yeah.
You know what? I've talked myself into it. Lowest of C.
Nice.
I'm willing to.
Because even if she leaves the battlefield, something is left behind from her being there, which can assist your other creatures.
Because you still have the equipment, and it can still help.
Actually, above Gorian.
Above,
I'm sorry, below Ganax.
Below Ganax.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So
I've talked myself into S. It's an S. No, I'm kidding.
All right, Scruff.
Stop it.
Maha.
You get to break another mold.
Maha, it that feathers night. 3 black for a 6/5 elemental bird with flying, trample, ward, discard a card, creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. I think we may have found the only S monocolored. It's up there. It's really
highest
up there.
Of A. Can't be S. It has too few colors.
I think Karlach's
highest.
You know what? I'm gonna swap that. I think Karlach's stronger than that.
So are we saying below Karlach?
Below Karlach.
Above Hugs.
Yep.
All right then. That's all you need to hear.
I mean, she's just.
It's just so strong.
Much.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
It's so strong for no reason.
And if you're running the deck with black and you pull her, you put her in immediately.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
All right, next.
All right. Now I get to go back to D&D. Mahadi.
Yep.
Emporium Master. 1 in Rakdos, which is black and red, for a 3/3 Cat Devil. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. It's cool, it's got colors, but it's not that strong, and you have to have other cards to make it do the thing. So it's, to me, around maybe just under Ilharg, but above Kalia.
I can accept that.
I think that's fair.
It does nothing else.
Right.
It does benefit.
I apologize. You have this card. Go ahead and read Massacre Girl.
It's Massacre Girl. 3 black for a legendary human assassin. 4/4 menace. When Massacre Girl ETBs, each other creature gets -1/-1 time turn. Whenever a creature dies, each creature gets an additional -1/-1, and it just continues.
The only benefit you'll have off of playing her is the fact that she will be the only thing remaining.
Yeah. That's literally it. That's All she's really got going for her.
D.
Yeah, I agree.
D under Beza.
Under Beza.
Yeah, I think that's fair because
the problem is
you still
maybe
still can't
even
argue
under Kitsa.
a couple of the things that we haven't talked about is what
honestly,
these commanders could possibly do to the rest of your pod. If your opponents see that you're playing Massacre Girl, they are not going to let you live long.
They're gonna hit you off. You're gonna get hated off the table.
Yep. I'm back into D&D with Mazzy,
Yay!
True Sword Paladin, 1 and Naya,
Literally
red,
the
green,
next
white.
three.
Yeah,
literally the next three cards are. I got Madara. Damn it!
I got the dragon. Ha!
Oh boy, Geek gets what is going to be arguably the most polarizing card that we talk about. Mazzy, True Sword Paladin is 1 red, green, white for a 3/4 halfling knight. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, it gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Whenever an aura you control is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, exile it until the end of your next turn. You may cast that card. Honestly, I know it offers you a lot of colors. D. Highest of D because of how many colors it offers you.
Sure.
I can agree with that.
If we're going to put it any higher, below Maybell is the highest I'm willing to put it.
If I was going to put it in the C, it'd be below Lavinia.
Really?
Well, so the only reason I throw it above Lavinia, Gorian, and Rihanna, sorry, is because it says whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents, it doesn't say that you control. So you will also pump your opponent's creatures that are enchanted.
True. And they're... yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I'm fine with where she is.
I'm also fine with where she is.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Alrighty. So I get Miram, Sentinel Worm, 3 and Teamer. So green, blue, and red for a 6/6 Dragon Spirit with flying and ward 2, because of course. And whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's not legendary. It is not going to do what you were hoping.
No.
It is low C. But if you get a couple dragons, it's going to be pretty nice.
Even a couple dragons is pretty nasty.
And you are in 3 colors.
Could you imagine if you get Miram and Dragonhawk?
All right, I'll say it. So she's going to be
above Gale.
I can go with that. Yes, above Gale.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, she's a gigantic, hard to remove dragon in good colors.
Mm-hmm.
But she's so gross when you actually build for her.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So another D&D card, Minthara, Merciless Soul,
a
2
romanceable
white
character.
and a black.
If you're an a-hole.
Yes.
I thought that was Lizelle.
No, Lazelle's
no, Lizelle you can actually.
We can talk about that later.
We'll talk about it off video. So Minthara is 2 white and a black for a 2/2 legendary creature elf cleric that has Ward X, where X is the number of experience counters you have. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, you get an experience counter. Creatures you control get +1/+0 for each experience counter you have.
She's high C, low B.
Yeah.
Just because there's no way
to remove the counters.
Besides, in the packs that are available to us, short of a single card in Modern Horizons 3.
Oh, yeah, there is one they did.
There is a black creature that enters the battlefield, that enters and removes all counters from a permanent or player.
Which is crazy.
But the likeliness that you're going to come across that
one card,
highly
out
unlikely.
of the entire. Yep.
And what you do is don't tell your pod you're playing that and trade for all the copies of it so that nobody else has it. I want to say high C, low B. Experience counters we know for a fact are very strong. And you're in white black. Getting rid of your stuff is like breathing.
Yeah. And the fact that with Ward X,
I would put her between Arenas and Kestrel.
I can accept
I
that.
can agree with that. I can agree with that.
I can accept that.
She is definitely no pushover.
Right, you can cut
Moira.
that out.
Moira, Trash Tactician. 1 red and a green for a 2/4 legendary creature raccoon warrior at the beginning of your first main phase. Add red or green for each raccoon you control. Whenever you expend 4, you gain 3 life. Whenever you expend 8, exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Expend is just how much mana you spend in a turn. If you spend 4 mana in a turn, you'll gain 3 life, and if you spend 8 mana a turn, you'll get the first one, you'll gain 3 life, and you'll also exile the top 2 cards of your library till the end of your next turn, be able to play them.
She's solid.
This is solid. You may
She gives
only
you a
get
mana regardless.
you may only get 1 mana. Above
Where we
Jan
thinking?
Jensen
Um,
triggers itself.
no,
Triggers itself is a relevant body,
I
and
put her, but yeah, I like
Yeah,
her more
definitely
between
A. I'm not-
Eladamri and the commander.
So you're saying here?
Yeah,
I accept
she's in to me better colors than the commander,
Yeah.
but her advantage is not as good as Eladamri's.
Fair.
Sure, I accept that.
But if you can get a couple raccoons,
Oh, then absolutely.
Even
yeah.
on like
Kinda
2 or
sweet.
3, that ability's
yeah,
solid.
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet. All right,
And here we go.
No.
Possibly our most polarizing card of this video.
Oh no, this is not that polarizing. It's fine. It's Nadu, Winged Wisdom, 1 in Simic for a 3/4 Bird Wizard Flyer. Creatures you control have whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it in the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. And it triggers only twice a turn.
Only twice a turn.
Only twice a turn.
Let's
The
not
only
beat
thing
a
keeping it from being the best thing is the fact that you're not likely to have any of the really free things to target your creatures with, to do with both the gross stuff that they do in Modern. So,
I
very high
still
A.
think I still think S.
I say low. Like,
I don't
don't
flip
think
side
she's
to-
as good as Maha or Karlak.
I disagree with that for one reason. She is in Simic. She's in an incredibly powerful. Nadu's is in Simic in an incredibly powerful color combination. They are a flyer with a decent body on them, and
Okay.
that ability triggering twice each turn means even if your opponents try to remove your shit, you're gonna do that. And there are plenty of pump and bounce spells in green and blue for Nadu to just go fucking nuts at the drop of a hat.
you're not
Still
wrong.
under the Vampire.
I disagree because that can win you a game.
If you
I
have
think
the other cards
Nadu will
to draw.
do so much damage that Asterion coming out on turn 6 will not be damage control. It'll be, I casted my commander so that I said I could.
I'm willing to let you do it. It depends on the card pool you get, but it is very, very, very powerful.
Yeah, Nadu is definitely.
I think the problem is your card pool doesn't even need to be that strong. I think if we're being realistic, green blue is the strongest 2-color combination because it can do everything that you want to do in a game. It's got card draw, it's got ways to win, it's got advantages, and especially a lot of those pump spells that you're going to see during this format say target. So all you're going to be doing is making your stuff stronger and getting extra value.
Well,
The
it
only
doesn't
reason,
make anything stronger. It just draws you cards or puts lands in.
well, I'm more so thinking like
The pump spells.
the
and
pump
stuff.
spells
But
themselves.
that's assuming
Yeah.
you get the pump spells.
True.
I think that Nadu is in contention. I will say this. Nadu is, not to spoil anything else that we might come up here, Nadu is easily the strongest commander from Modern Horizons 3. Let's be real. It's in contention to be stronger than Aurelia.
No, he's up in S.
I mean,
so.
Yeah, definitely an S.
S is definitely.
I would say
I think
either
right.
first or second with,
Well, right now I have him at third. We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right. So
We did say it'd be polarizing.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
did, yeah.
So, I find it funny that literally, well, not funny. It's just we're all going to talk about a Nib Mizzet. So, do we want to just?
You can kind of put these first two in the same boat.
Yeah.
because you have Niv Mizzet
Although the second one
Firemind
is slightly better.
and Niv Mizzet Perun.
Whose turn is it to read? I believe it's Ryan's.
It would be me. So
Ryan's.
I'm hitting the one I hit is Firemind.
Yep.
So yeah, Niv Mizzet Firemind, 2 blue, red. For a 4/4 legendary creature dragon wizard with flying, whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet the Firemind deals 1 damage to any target and has tap draw a card. This one honestly has a little bit more lenient casting cost.
C, definitely.
Yeah. He's definitely C. Because the unfortunate part,
above Gale, below Miriam, because Miriam offers you another color.
Sure.
yeah, and like because like Niv Mizzet, like he's a 4/4 flying, deal pings thing people for damage when you draw cards.
Yeah.
And he can activate himself. Mind you, it takes a turn, but yeah.
Niv Mizzet Perun, blue, red for a 5/5 dragon wizard. This spell can't be countered. Flying. Whenever you draw a card, deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever a player casts an instant sorcery spell, you draw a card. I think this one's above Miriam.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mana cost is the only thing holding it back from being any higher to me.
Because it is super restrictive in the sense that
If you have 2 blue and 4 red, or 4 blue and 2 red, you're gonna feel so bad.
Yep, been there. And then last but not least, for Niv Mizzet.
One of my favorite decks. Niv Mizzet Reborn, Wooburg for a 6/6 flying dragon avatar. When the ETBs, you look at the top 10 cards of your library. For each different color pair that's different, you can put one in your hand. The rest go on the bottom in a random order. Low C.
Super low C.
Yeah, low C.
The biggest thing saving him is the fact that he's a 6/6 dragon.
Yep.
Honestly,
He's also 5 colors.
How low C are we talking here?
The bottom.
You think even below Lavinia?
Yes.
All
At
right.
least you can cast her.
Fair point.
Ooh,
it's
I
my
have the
turn
pup.
again. I have the fox Pearlier. Let me pull them up. I'm pretty sure I didn't know what we're going to say with Pearlier and the pup as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still going to be fair to the viewers. Here we go. Found it. So Pearl Ear. I can't talk all of a sudden. Imperial Advisor. 1 white for a 3/4 legendary creature fox advisor with lifelink. Enchantment spells you cast have affinity for auras, and whenever you cast an aura spell, that targets a modified permanent you control, draw a card. D
above
Honestly,
Massacre Girl, below Kitsa.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Philia is going to be probably a little bit higher than that, probably above Kitsa.
Possibly.
But Philia, Exuberant Shepherd, 1 and a white for a 2/2 Doggo with Flash. And whenever Philia attacks, exile up to 1 other target non-land permanent at the beginning of the next end step. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Philia. D, only due to color, I say above Kitsa. The biggest thing giving this an advantage is the fact that when it attacks, it exiles up to 1 other target creature, meaning you could just remove your opponent's
Non-land
blockers.
permanent.
Yeah. So we're saying
Above Kitsa.
Above Kitsa.
So above Kitsa? Okay.
Plus the artwork.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the artwork's adorable. Like, I
Adorable.
love it.
Ooh, I get a cool one.
You get a
Yes,
really
you do.
cool one.
Blage.
Yeah, there's going to be a
Titan of
talk.
Fire's Fury. 1 red/white for a 6/6 Elder Giant. It enters the battlefield, sack it unless it escaped. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Has escape. Red, white. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard.
It's
Really
strong.
good.
It's super strong.
High
It's
B
strong.
at the very least.
Yeah.
Maybe even low A.
I would actually say low A.
So are we saying above Kudo?
I'd say above Commander.
You think above?
Yes,
so
above
up here.
Commander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Yeah, Flage
That is 3 mana Lightning Helix that will come back eventually later to be a Lightning Helix that is a 6/6.
Yes.
It's just, and all it's going to do is hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I get it.
We have 2 guild leaders in a row.
Yeah.
Technically
3.
3
3 guild
actually.
leaders in a row.
So first up is Prime Speaker Zagana, 2 green green blue blue for a 1/1 legendary creature Merfolk Wizard. Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. When it enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to its power.
Hey,
Honestly-
you're super mediocre.
Yeah, but I still say C. Honestly,
Agree. C.
I say C tier.
Above Karlov, below Lazov.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because yeah, she's 6 mana, but you're in Simic, and she'll enter with X 1/1 counters equal to like whatever the strongest creature among other creatures you control. And then when she ETBs, you get cards from casting her. So if you have a 3/3, she get 3 1/1 counters. You draw 4 cards.
We will talk about now Rakdos, Lord of Riots. Black, red for a 6/6 demon. You can't cast this spell unless an opponent lost life this turn. Flying, trample. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Holy moly, that is a very, very high ceiling. It's a high ceiling.
Yeah.
B?
High B.
High B?
High B. Probably the highest B.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So you're thinking,
Yeah.
all right.
If you have the 4 mana available
Rakdos
and
is
you
nasty.
have a creature that can get through to an opponent or make a deal with an opponent, that's a 6/6 on turn 4, which is incredibly relevant.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Mine is Rawl, Monsoon Mage. 1 in red for a 1/3 human wizard. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell during your turn, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, he deals 1 damage to you. If you win the flip, you may exile him and return him transformed. And he becomes Rawl Laneline Prodigy, a 2 loyalty planeswalker that says when he enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty on him for each instant sorcery you cast this turn. +1 until your next turn. Instant sorceries you cast cost 1 less. -2, he deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Draw a card if you control a blue permanent other than Rawl. -8, exile the top 8 cards of your library. You may cast instants and sorceries from among them this turn without paying their mana cost. C.
Welcome to the D's.
C. Low C.
I'll accept it.
Probably
I can-
under Mabel.
Yeah.
Under
Yeah,
Mabel, above Dining.
Under Mabel. I can agree with that.
He gets
Alright.
all the white-black commanders. Come on! He gets Shilkigard too!
Oh, unfortunate for
I
you.
do. Damn.
Trade me one of them. I just want Teysa.
Okay, swap Tamio and Teysa.
Okay.
That way I get all of the flip walkers.
Oh
Sure.
God, that hurts my soul because I really want Soren too. Anyway, continue.
Don't be greedy.
I'm not. Fine.
All right. Next is Roshin, Roaring Prophet. 2 red and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature, Giant Shaman. When Roshin enters the battlefield, mill 6 cards. You may put a card with X in its mana cost from among them into your hand. Tap, reveal any number of cards with X in their mana cost in your hand. Add 2 colorless for each card revealed this way. Spend this mana only to cast costs that contain X.
D. Cool.
Honestly,
I would like the faceless one over her.
so we
She's
say,
real low.
yeah.
I mean, is only higher. I would say
Put her above the Eldrazi's.
Pearl Ear,
Pearl Ear?
only because she has 2 colors.
Sure. I accept that.
I can agree with that.
We're about to meet somebody else who belongs in the D tier, unfortunately. Savra, Queen of the Golgari. Can't believe I have to say that. 2 black and a green for a 2/2 elf shaman. Whenever you sacrifice a black creature, you may pay 2 life. If you do, each other player sacrifices a creature. Whenever you sacrifice a green creature, you may gain 2 life. She's just way too restrictive. Way too restricted, overcosted for her body size. It's just D. D, I would put her above Roshin. Black and green have some ways to sacrifice things on their own.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to work out well for you.
Ooh. And get an Orzhov commander. Shilgengar, Sire of Famine, 3 black for a 6/6 Elder Demon with flying. Sacrifice another creature, create a blood. If you sacked an angel this way, create a number of blood tokens equal to its toughness instead. Hybrid Orzhov 3 times. Sack 6 blood tokens. Return each creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on them. They are vampires in addition to the other types. He's incredibly solid. He's 5 mana for a 6/6 flyer that is a sack outlet.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
A.
Yeah, Shogungar, absolutely.
Now, where in A
Is the question.
I put him. I would put him above Flage.
In between.
Only because
that's
he's
fair.
a flyer.
Yeah, I say in between Mira,
Sure.
Moira and Flage. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sure.
He's very good.
This one's going to be real easy.
6 is in D.
Up next
Sorry,
is
go
6.
ahead. My apologies.
2 and a green, 2/4 legendary creature tree folk. Reach, whenever 6 attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put a land card from among them into your hand. As long as it's your turn, non-land permanent cards in your graveyard have retrace, which you can cast it by discarding a land card in addition to paying its other mana cost.
Very powerful.
Yes.
Not strong enough.
Nope.
I
It is
think
definitely in D.
D above Lumra?
No.
I would
I
say
would-
below.
It does give a little bit of card advantage with the retrace.
It
I would say
does.
above Emoin.
Yeah. And above
I
the
think-
dragon, too.
I can agree with
Okay,
that. I think
I can accept that.
I can swing that.
Skoa, Ember Mage. 4 red for a 4/4 legendary creature goblin wizard. When Skoa Ember Mage enters, it deals 4 damage to any target. It has grandeur. That does not matter.
Does not matter.
Nope.
Absolute D.
Yeah,
D.
D. And maybe even above
It's
the
low.
Eldrazi only.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I say he's low.
It's only for the
Alright.
fact that it comes in and domes something for 4 that I put it above like Fibblethip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Another Flipwalker.
S. Sorry. Continue.
He's
Sorin of House Markov. 1 in black for a 1/4 human noble with lifelink and extort. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, exile Sorin and return him transformed. He becomes Sorin Ravenous Neonate. Orzhov Planeswalker with starting loyalty 3 with extort. +2, make a food. -1, he deals damage equal to the amount of life you gain this turn to any target. And -6, gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. Put a lifelink counter on it if you control a white permanent other than that creature or Sorin. I think he's really good.
High A.
yeah. I agree at least with high A. You could make an
Actually,
argument.
highest of A, probably.
You think
I don't
over
think he's
Karlach?
as strong as Karlach or Maha.
I
Well,
would-
probably between
I would
Karlach and Maha.
I think that's
I
acceptable.
can accept that.
I think that's acceptable.
We all have our favorite characters.
No, but like this version of
Sorin's
Sword
my
is
favorite
actually
Planeswalker.
very strong in the sense of it. Like
He's very strong.
so, like if you were to pull him in sealed and you ran him, I would not fault you at all
Oh,
for
yeah.
it.
He's really good.
You would
I
make. that's
pull
probably
him,
one of
I'm
the better-
running him.
Oh yeah.
Or I should say I'm
Alright.
running home with him.
All right.
All right. Here's a card I actually contemplated for a commander for a long time. Tajik, Legion's Edge. 1 red and a white for a 3/2 legendary creature human soldier with haste mentor. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control, and pay Boros. And Tajik gains first strike until end of turn.
Solid.
It's a solid
guard.
commander. I would
C?
say B.
High C?
I say B.
You say B?
I say B.
I would put him above Ball, definitely.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think B. Like I don't think high B. But like he's definitely.
He's
if
playable.
he were to be, yeah, he is absolutely playable.
Low to the
The
ground.
fact that he low to the ground, has haste, can give
He
himself
protects
first
your
strike,
creatures.
protects
He-
creatures. He checks a bunch of boxes.
That's true.
Skip on ahead above Tamio and get your Tesa.
I was about to say, you could just read Tamio and then I'll read Tesa.
Sure.
Do I then read the Necrobloom?
No, I get the Necrobloom.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're staying
in order. You're just
okay, and then I would go
us.
Tulsimer. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I got all three. I got all three of the Titans.
I'm sorry.
Oh no,
I got all the flip walkers, and yeah. All right. So we got Tamio, Inquisitive Student, 1 blue for a 0/3 flying moonfolk wizard. Whenever she attacks, investigate. When you draw your 3rd card in a turn, transform her. She becomes Tamio, Seasoned Scholar, 2 loyalty planeswalker in Simic until the end, and she has a +2 until your next turn. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, it gets -1, -0 until end of turn. -3, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a green card, add 1 mana of any color. And -7, draw cards equal to half the number of cards in your library, rounded up. You get an emblem with "You have no maximum hand size."
She's just solid.
She's really good Simic.
Yeah.
You are going to draw that 3rd card.
Yep.
I'd say high B.
High B.
Yeah. High B, definitely. Are we saying above Rakdos, or are we thinking?
I want to say above Glunch.
Say above Glunch.
Yeah.
I think the other 2 that are above her just pack more punch than she does.
Yeah.
And that's relevant.
Yeah, I can agree with that. All right. Yeah, Bill. You got your wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner. All right. Anyway, it is Tesa, Orzhov Scion, 1 white and a black for a 2/3 human advisor. Sacrifice 3 white creatures, exile target creature. Whenever another black creature you control dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Shocking to no one. A. High A.
Good.
I would put her.
I can agree with A.
I think that okay. I'm the one that has to roll out the red carpet here. So rolling out the red carpet.
It's your girl. So.
Yep. So let's look at her compared to some of the commanders that we have up in A. As far as mana value goes, some of the ones that we really enjoyed are at that 3 mana value. Now, she does not offer as many colors as Jan Jensen or Balin, but let's be realistic. Jan Jensen and Balin both have harder strategies than she does. Balin's strategy requires 4 tokens, which is not the easiest thing to achieve, especially because the most common token you're going to see is a creature token, and those can die. Jan Jensen, kind of the same thing. Realistically, you're making those treasures to continue ramping you into better cards that could or could not work. Tesa only cares about their colors. You fill up the deck with black creatures that when they die are going to just spawn you 1/1 flying blockers or flying attackers. And flying in a format where people are only at 30 life is incredibly relevant. Problematic creature shows up, sack them where they don't need to be untapped, and exile it.
I would put her above Balin.
I put her above Maha.
I can argue above Hugs.
I don't think she's as good as Maha.
I think she's better than Maha for a big reason.
The fact that she has 2 colors.
No, I have to waste no cards to remove him.
I don't disagree.
Normally, the biggest downside of trying to remove Maha with the fact that it has ward discard a card is it goes, hey, I've spent this spell and another card from my hand. Where Tesa has got 3 white spirits and just goes, cool, don't swing at me and I don't remove it at instant speed.
Don't you have to pay the ward for an ability?
Oh, you would, but you would only lose a single card compared to losing 2 for every other person on this list.
Fair.
Or
I'll give you that
if you make enough flying blockers, just block Baja and kill it.
Also true. I cannot fault that logic.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Argument 1. I'll give you that one.
I mean, Aurelia is still the best commander for Rav Remastered. Let's be realistic. I'm fully willing to admit that. I made my argument for my girl.
Honestly, I'll say this.
Right, Ryan.
Yeah. The
Down the
Necro
list
Bloom.
few.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch. So Necro Bloom, 1 white, black, and green. So Abzan. 2/7 legendary creature plant with landfall. Whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control, create a 0/1 green plant creature token. If you control 7 or more land, you instead create a 2/2 black zombie creature token instead. And land cards in your graveyard have dredge too. So if you don't want to draw, you can just exile 2 cards from. Oh no, sorry, you mill 2 cards. I think I'm getting a mechanic mixed up. My bad. You mill 2 and return a land card to your graveyard, from your graveyard to your hand instead of drawing.
Honestly,
it's
pretty solid.
It's a solid card. And funny enough, if you
B,
I definitely say B. I say this: if you pair if you get the Necro Bloom and you get lucky enough to get Kudo as well, or you can trade someone for it, those 0/1 plants become 2/2 bear plants.
It's true,
and it's a fun combo.
You do tune your commander all the way down from a 2/7 to a 2/2.
You do. There is backfire, but the tokens become 2/2s.
I think above Bane.
Yeah,
above Bane and maybe above Vijani.
Above Vijani, and honestly, I'd put it.
Do you think
between Gavin and Skier?
Yeah, accept that.
I can agree with that. I think that's a fair. All right. Yeah.
Tulsimer Wolfblood, 4 green and a white for a 3/4 elf warrior. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Other white creatures you control get +1/+1. Tap, create Voha, a legendary 2/2 green and white wolf creature token. It's fine, honestly.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
It's a lot of mana, but it's fine.
It is an anthem, which is really, really important and can continuously make tokens.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think you have no reason to immediately make Voha and then throw it in front of the first thing that has to block so that he could just make Voha again.
Right. Yep.
Also, if you can find some way to give him...
the mana cost is the only issue. I think. The mana cost is probably the only issue.
I would say...
I'd say B?
Above Bane.
Above Bane?
Yeah.
I can accept that.
Yeah, above Bane.
I think above Bane, definitely.
I can accept it.
It's being stubborn again. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, it's my turn. Mine's easy. Totally Distinguished Advocist. 2 white for a 2/3 human advisor with flying. Lands on the battlefield and lands in the graveyard. Can't be the targets of spells or abilities your opponents control, and your opponents can't play land cards from their graveyards. D. Barely above Emrakul.
Yeah.
Because it has a color and it's a flyer.
There's no argument. Tomic, unfortunately, Tomic is not good in this.
Go ahead, Ryan. Do that Titan.
And here we go. Ulamog the Defiler. 10 mana for 7/7. Legendary creature Eldrazi. When you cast a spell, target opponent exiles half their library, rounded up. Ward, sack 2 permanents. Ulamog the Defiler enters the battlefield with a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the greatest mana value among cards in exile. And Ulamog has Annihilator X, where X is a number of 1/1 counters on it.
Can we put this in the bottom?
If you pull it,
can we put this in the bottom of C?
Yeah. Bottom of C?
Bottom
of C?
Yeah.
No, it has to be in D. You can't make a deck colorless.
Here's the problem. If you could make it work for whatever reason, here's the biggest problem is I don't know if wastes are offered. If they are,
well, they're still covered in waste.
So
the only way you get it, you need a bunch of them.
Well, no. So thankfully, Ulamog doesn't care about generic mana. He's just 10 mana.
Well, the problem is his color identity is
colorless. If he's the commander, you have to use wastes.
Oh, true. Shit.
And you're not going to get enough wastes.
All right. Below Tomic, above. Let's be realistic. He's the strongest.
He's the best of the Titans.
Yes.
He is the best of the Titans.
You put him in any. If you pull him, you put him in a deck. Doesn't matter. Put him in a deck.
He is a bomb and a half.
Vren the Relentless. We're in the home stretch here. Vren the Relentless.
Indeed.
2 blue and a black for a 3/4 rat rogue with ward 2. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. The beginning of each end step, create X11 black rat creature tokens with this creature gets +1/+1 for each other rat you control, where X is the number of creatures your opponents controlled that were exiled this turn. It's solid. It
Mhm.
really is.
It is, honestly.
Because it makes the rats. It doesn't
Yes.
need the rats.
Yes. Also a 3/4 is a relevant body, and Ward 2 is half decent
Yep.
protection.
And it
B?
influences a lot of graveyard strategies.
Yeah, I would say B.
I put
think
it above
B.
Immisgear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Above Obscure, below Necrobloom.
Actually, maybe above Necrobloom.
I
Maybe.
I could argue that. I could actually argue that.
Oh, yeah.
I like where it is, but it could go
Yeah.
above Necrobloom.
You could, yeah, these two, like, you could flip flop. Like, they're very, like, it's close.
Alrighty.
Wick, the World Mind. 3 and black for a 2/4 rat warlock. Whenever Wick or another rat you control enters, make a 1/1 black snail creature token if you don't control a snail. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on the snail you control. And then Grixis and sack a snail. He deals damage equal to the sacrifice creature's power to each opponent. Then draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power.
Is C only due to color
C-
identity?
See only to color identity, and I'd put it above Gorian and Dynahir.
So
Sounds like a
below
plan.
Morale.
Because at least it makes the snail.
Yeah.
This is true.
All right. Right.
This might also be another monocolor commander that breaks the mold.
Mm.
Yeva's got a
Maybe.
very powerful ability. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So Yeva, Nature's Herald, 2 green for a 4/4 legendary creature, Elf Shaman creep. Oh my god. My brain's done. I've looked at so many Magic card pictures that my brain's just fried.
It's okay. We only got 2 left.
Yeah. Has flash, and you may cast green creature spells as though they had flash. I mentioned this earlier in the video. If you get lucky enough to pull Eladamri and Yeba, they are a deadly combo.
I put her under 6.
You put her in D.
Yes.
All right.
She does a good
I
thing,
mean,
but you
She
need other
does.
things.
You do need other things.
She doesn't just do creature spells. It has to be green creature spells. So if you have like artifact creature,
Yeah.
that doesn't help.
So
She's
I mean,
good, but
if you get
Not
her
as a
and you're
commander.
right, yeah, if you get her and you get a 99, if you get her and you're running green,
Yeah.
you have no reason not to run her.
All righty.
Last 2.
Yigra, Eater of All. 3 black and a green for a 6/6 elemental cat with ward sack of food. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their other types and have the food text of 2 tap sack it, gain 3 life. Whenever a food is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put 2+1/+1 counters on Yigra, Eater of All. High B.
Yeah.
Yeah, high B. I
High B.
agree, high B. So what are we thinking? So we're saying
Above
high B.
Tamio.
Yeah. Maybe
I can
even
agree.
maybe even above Arna.
I
It has the potential to be really big. It's
It
easy
does.
enough to make it really big.
I feel
my only flip side to that is it has no evasion.
No
It doesn't
evasion.
have trample.
yeah,
In colors that can give trample pretty easily.
Yeah,
true.
but Arna doesn't need anything to let her
True.
be evasive. So
Arna,
I'm
Arna
good
has
with
the
her being
edge.
there.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a solid.
Our last one. Zoraline, Cosmos Caller, 1 in Orzhov for a 3/3 black cleric with flying and vigilance. Whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain a life. Whenever she enters or attacks, you may pay Orzhov and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent card, basically Sun Titan, with a finality counter.
Yep.
She's
It's
very, very
strong.
playable.
It's
Very
very
strong.
strong. I think she's an A.
Low A.
So we're
Maybe
saying,
above.
do we say above Kudo?
Yeah.
Definitely
I think
above Kudo.
I say above Kudo.
Actually maybe above the commander.
You thinking all the way
Yeah,
up
I can
here?
go with that.
Yeah.
Maybe even above Flage.
Nah, because argument they're
A
both
little
3
slower.
mana. They're both 3 mana, and Flage can come in and just kill her
True.
immediately.
Yeah.
So I
There you go.
below Flage.
And yeah,
There we
so-
go.
All right, so part 1 of the video, we're done.
108 commanders.
And there's
So
still
how's our S tier look again?
so our S
review
tier
that?
currently has 4
4
creatures:
creatures.
Aurelia,
Aurelia,
Cruel Claw, Nadu, and Astarion.
who got moved up midway through the
Yes.
the video.
So the final thing we will be before we sign our way out is realistically, obviously, we're fine with the B's and C's, and nobody's gonna judge you for D. You have your choice between any of the A or S rank commanders. Who are you playing, Ryan?
If I have any choice between the S and the A rank, I'm sorry, but I'm going with the bear.
Of course you are.
If I will say this, if I don't go with the bear, I might go with Shogungar. Shogungar has really been on my radar. Definitely has my interest, even
That's
just
fair.
even aside from sealed.
That's fair. Geek.
Either Karlak or Aurelia. I can swing.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
For me, it's Teysa, Sorin, or Aurelia. I
wouldn't be sad with any of these though.
No,
Agreed.
I would not be sad with any of them at all. I think who is the sleeper hit? Who's the commander that you're surprised is up in these two ranks? Mine's it's John Irenicus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Commander is surprising. She's all that way up there.
The commander
That is
definitely
true, actually.
that
Yeah.
one. The command, like for this format specifically, the commander is definitely one of the more odd ones.
I can already tell you what my sleeper hit is for the next episode, but I will save that for the next episode as we will be doing
Yes.
the rest of Baldur's Gate and Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle Earth.
So many
There's a lot of
commanders.
legends in
There is
Ugh.
83 legendary creatures that we can pull in there. But I think there's a grand total between the commander set and the starter decks of like 92.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings had a lot.
There we
So
go. A
many.
few more of Baldur's Gate. The Planeswalker commanders of Baldur's Gate.
I will get
Oh,
the
yeah.
rest of those. Yeah, I'll get the rest of those pictures, but I will get those on a different day so I can get my sanity back for a minute.
And I can tell you right now, at least for me, one of those Planeswalker commanders is an S rank.
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us. And we were joined by our special guest, Geek Beardley.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for actually agreeing to help us with this.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. So like as we mentioned, this is the commanders from these that we have ranked and everything are all based on our opinions. Obviously, like we were thinking of it from a gameplay strategy. Outside of Commander Shield, a lot of these commanders, especially ones that we rank down low in like in the D and the C tiers and everything, they're definitely viable. I'm building Harrogast as we speak.
I'm building
Like,
Ashling.
Yeah. Like
We are
we're
just
not-
looking
we
from a
are
realistic
not saying-
perspective.
Yes, we are not saying these are weak commanders or bad cards at all. Like, but for Commander Shield, with how limited it is, these are the choices here. Like, just they don't.
If you pull one of the
won't have a
Eldrazi
good
Titans,
time.
you should put it in your deck.
Oh,
as
slot
the
that into
bomb.
99. If you pull Ulamog, Ulamog especially, slot that son of a gun in.
Anyway,
Like,
folks.
The only format I won't feel bad casting into Ulamog.
Yeah, right. Folks,
yeah.
everybody, have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for
And
joining us.
Yeah.
We hope
and-
that you got down to the floor you wanted in this episode of Dungeon Delving.